It's Friday night and time for Indiana High School football on IndianaHighSchoolSports.net. Tonight's game is driven by Greg Hubler Ford, located at the corner of McGalliard and Nebo Road in Muncie, or visit them at greghublerauto.com. And brought to you in part by Universal Roofing and Exteriors. Visit Universal at universalrfg.com. By Genesis Sports Performance. Visit Genesis at genesissportsperformance.com. And by High Gear Marketing at highgearmktg.com. Now, let's go to the field for tonight's game of the week on IndianaHighSchoolSports.net.
Every day is a great day to buy a vehicle at Greg Hubler Ford.
Because every vehicle comes with our Greg Hubler promise. On top of scheduled maintenance with your vehicle, you'll also enjoy complimentary roadside assistance, service pickup, and drop-off. And a free car wash and quick wash every time you service at Greg Hubler Ford.
We're always finding new ways to put our guests first.
Mosey on into Muncie.
Greg Hubler Ford, promise kept.
Universal Roofing and Exteriors is a family-owned and operated business, providing care and honest service for over 30 years. Universal has always been a little bit different. Their certified and trained employees don't just provide excellent work at a fair low price. They care about their customers, simply providing great customer service. Quality, honesty, dependability. That's Universal Roofing and Exteriors. Call us today at 317-257-0779. Looking for training that makes a difference? Then Genesis Sports Performance is for you. Whether you're a grade school, high school, or college athlete, or just looking to get back into shape, Genesis has customized programs providing rapid gains in strength and conditioning, speed and agility. Genesis features a 7,000 square foot facility with state-of-the-art weight room and huge turf surface. Call Genesis at 386-7459. or visit them at genesissportsperformance.com. Hi, I'm Steve Hartley, owner and founder of High Gear Marketing, a digital advertising company focusing on data to help businesses improve market share and drive new customers. Are you tired with the lack of accountability from your current vendors? Are you frustrated with your return on investment? Well, my program is different. You actually don't pay unless you sell something. High Gear Marketing takes all the risk. You have zero to lose. If you're interested, text me at 317-523-4100.
The wane of summer grows ever more present in East Central Indiana as the true colors of Friday night lights begin to show upon stadium grass. The air grows crisp and cool as we welcome September, but the action on the gridiron continues to heat up. Tonight especially, we cherish the timeless high school experience of the homecoming football game as we pay witness to our youth living their best lives both on the field and in the stands. It is a setting and a feeling that is uniquely American, and we have the honor of sharing this game with you tonight. It's the Blackford Bruins taking on the Alexandria-Monroe Tigers on IndianaHighSchoolSports.net. And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Sam Niger alongside my partner Andrew Mild, and what we have for you tonight is a pivotal game for both of these two entities. It's rare so early in the season to witness what could be a turning point for both Blackford and Alexandria-Monroe. Starting with the visiting Bruins, it has been a struggle through 2 weeks on both sides of the football, but if they rely on their solid running back tandem of Brian Hernandez and Nicholas Eli to score touchdowns, they have a shot of capturing their first win against Alexandria-Monroe tonight. Speaking of the Tigers, they'll be extra hyped this week to play in front of their homecoming fans. Last week, the Tigers captured their first win versus Wabash, and they set the trajectory of their season on a winning track tonight if they capture a win and go above 500 on the season. We're going to take our first break, but we'll be right back with Andrew's take and the starting lineups on IndianaHighSchoolSports.net.
Every day is a great day to buy a vehicle at Greg Hubler Ford.
Because every vehicle comes with our Greg Hubler promise. On top of scheduled maintenance with your vehicle, you'll also enjoy complimentary roadside assistance, service pickup, and drop-off. And a free car wash and quick wash every time you service at Greg Hubler Ford.
We're always finding new ways to put our guests first.
Mosey on into Muncie.
Greg Hubler Ford, promise kept.
Universal Roofing and Exteriors is a family-owned and operated business, providing care and honest service for over 30 years. Universal has always been a little bit different. Their certified and trained employees don't just provide excellent work at a fair low price. They care about their customers, simply providing great customer service. Quality, honesty, dependability. That's Universal Roofing and Exteriors. Call us today at 317-257-0779.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Alexandria-Monroe High School, where we'll set the scene for the football game tonight between the Blackford Bruins and the hometown Alexandria-Monroe Tigers. Once again, my name is Sam Niger. With me tonight is Andrew Mild. Andrew.
Defense can step up. They've allowed 87 points in their first two games. They gave up one, another 46 against Fremont last week, but they were able to establish a run game as their running back yards, but he's injured. He's not available today. He's on crutches. Around 303 yards in total per play. All it takes is 3 plays and a first down, and it's really season. The first defense this season, they allowed us to.
Well, if any team's going to the shoddy defense that Blackford has shown us so far this season, it's going to be Alexandria-Monroe, led by their stellar quarterback / punter / punt returner, Gabe McGuire. Can you touch on him and his athleticism, Andrew?
Knife. You have to now use Gabe because he kicks the ball away, but a good completion percentage is 68%. Receptions, but in yards gained thus far with 502 total yards. That's just through on offense. That's not including the punt and kick returns. So
absolutely, and I know you played high school football, so I just want you to touch on what it means to start conference football play. What does that look like for these two teams? How does that change the trajectory of this season, and especially on homecoming night tonight here at Alexandria-Monroe? What's the message if you're the coach in the locker room to your boys?
And you hear Coach Gaff, the entire town behind you tonight. Everyone play. They're excited. Won last week when they beat and to go against a Blackford team that's trying to regain their season. Going 0-2 to start the year is rough. But not take this team lightly. Coach against each other for so you have to hit them in the mouth first.
Well, we're going to take a quick break here on IndianaHighSchoolSports.net. When we come back, we should have football here for you in the next 10 minutes. Once again, Sam Niger, Andrew Mild with you, and we will be back right after these messages.
Looking for training that makes a difference? Then Genesis Sports Performance is for you. Whether you're a grade school, high school, or college athlete, or just looking to get back into shape, Genesis has customized programs providing rapid gains in strength and conditioning, speed and agility. Genesis features a 7,000 square foot facility with state-of-the-art weight room and huge turf surface. Call Genesis at 386-7459 or visit them at genesissportsperformance.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Hartley, owner and founder of High Gear Marketing, a digital advertising company focusing on data to help businesses improve market share and drive new customers. Are you tired with the lack of accountability from your current vendors? Are you frustrated with your return on investment? Well, my program is different. You actually don't pay unless you sell something. High Gear Marketing takes all the risk. You have zero to lose. If you're interested, text me at 317-523-4100.
Every day is a great day to buy a vehicle at Greg Hubler Ford.
Because every vehicle comes with our Greg Hubler promise. On top of scheduled maintenance with your vehicle, you'll also enjoy complimentary roadside assistance, service pickup and drop off, and a free car wash and quick wash every time you service at Greg Hubler Ford.
We're always finding new ways to put our guests first.
Mosey on into Muncie.
Greg Hubler Ford, promise kept.
Universal Roofing and Exteriors is a family-owned and operated business, providing care and honest service for over 30 years. Universal has always been a little bit different. Their certified and trained employees don't just provide excellent work at a fair low price. They care about their customers, simply providing great customer service. Quality, honesty, dependability. That's Universal Roofing and Exteriors. Call us today at 317-257-0779.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Alexandria, Indiana, where we are nearing the 10-minute mark before we will have football between the hometown Tigers of Alexandria-Monroe High School and the Blackford Bruins. We're going to take a minute now to look at some keys to the game for these two teams, and I'll pass it over to you, Andrew. You want to start with Blackford?
Facts through the first two games of the and have see them play and line up at different positions. In year 303 that has shown the explosiveness on offense to keep off, because one, that hurts your team's confidence, and two, gives the other team plenty of momentum going forward. And you can't
Moving to the Alexandria-Monroe Tigers, what do we have for keys to the game for the hometown team tonight on homecoming?
Last couple of weeks, you and I have called Central Indiana football games in the 2A division, and you texted a lot of running in this game, and for me, sustain a nice confidence offense where they can run the ball and then throw half per game. So that's really, you can then keep the defense on their toes, and they can open up the big play, especially against a strong.
Certainly. Looking back at Blackford now, we talked about this. They are going to run the football a lot more than Alexandria-Monroe is, but you touched on this earlier, Andrew. Number 24, Peyton James, is on crutches tonight. We didn't know that until we showed up to tonight's game. So what do you look for Blackford? They do run the football so much, and now their leading runner goes down. How are they going to tackle tonight's game with the hobbled James?
Yeah, really is going to hurt you without having your leading rusher, especially after you had a big game last week of 185 yards. You have to sit down with your other running backs and say, you're going to have to step up this week because we're not going to have Peyton James out there and let him carry the football and really be the bell cow per se. Smith. You because for Jay County. So I'm thinking, you know what? Backs even said it. You said 9 times in 2 games. completely agree. He play the pocket and then turn his hips, get his shoulders into it, and balls are right on the money.
Absolutely, and he's going to need a lot of that tonight. Once again, last week, only 4 of 6 for 75 yards, no touchdowns, but an interception. That comes to a QBR of 70.1. Also had 2 carries for -5 yards. That's the 2. Going to have a game. Tonight would be the night.
Tonight's the night to get back into the season, especially if you can win a game. For a really long time.
But Blackford is going to need their offensive line to step up as we see the Alexandria out onto the field here on homecoming night. Alexandria-Monroe, no question about it. Up front for the Tigers, they've got Trevor Martin, who's 328 pounds, 6'2". Connor Etchison is 316. He's 6'4". I mean, they've got some big boys up front, especially on that left side of the defensive line. And as for Blackford, look, they've got 2 guys over 2 boys up front. 200 pounds or over, and across the board, all sophomores, so a very young offensive line. They have a hobbled running back. We'll see if the Bruins can hang, but we're going to take a quick break. It's going to be our last one before we get rolling on here on Friday night. Once again, my name is Sam Niger. Andrew Mile is with me, and we thank you for tuning in on IndianaHighSchoolSports.net.
Every day is a great day to buy a vehicle at Greg Hubler Ford.
Because every vehicle comes with our Greg Hubler promise. On top of scheduled maintenance with your vehicle, you'll also enjoy complimentary roadside assistance, service pickup, and drop-off. And a free car wash and quick wash every time you service at Greg Hubler Ford.
We're always finding new ways to put our guests first.
Mosey on into Muncie.
Greg Hubler Ford, promise kept.
Universal Roofing and Exteriors is a family-owned and operated business, providing care and honest service for over 30 years. Universal has always been a little bit different. Their certified and trained employees don't just provide excellent work at a fair low price. They care about their customers, simply providing great customer service. Quality, honesty, dependability. That's Universal Roofing and Exteriors. Call us today at 317-257-0779.
Looking for training that makes a difference? Then Genesis Sports Performance is for you. Whether you're a grade school, high school, or college athlete, or just looking to get back into shape, Genesis has customized programs providing rapid gains in strength and conditioning, speed and agility. Genesis features a 7,000 square foot facility with state-of-the-art weight room and huge turf surface. Call Genesis at 386-7459 or visit them at genesissportsperformance.com. Hi, I'm Steve Hartley, owner and founder of High Gear Marketing, a digital advertising company focusing on data to help businesses improve market share and drive new customers. Are you tired with the lack of accountability from your current vendors? Are you frustrated with your return on investment? Well, my program is different. You actually don't pay unless you sell something. High Gear Marketing takes all the risk. You have zero to lose. If you're interested, text me at 317-523-4100.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Alexandria, Indiana, where we got our starting lineups for tonight's game between the Blackford Bruins and the Alexandria-Monroe Tigers. Let's start with the visiting Bruins now. In no particular order, you've got Jay Bannister, Daniel Ludwig, Caleb Patrick, Kendrick Dishman, and Bryson Brooks up front for the Bruins. Then with the split end running back combo, you've got Nicholas Ely, Gage Dow, Brian Hernandez, Austin Smith, and Donovan Soto, with Carson Smith, the quarterback, number 1, 5'10", 180 pounds, the senior, up front. On defense for the Bruins, up front, they've got number 5, Ethan Gee, number 25, Braxton Mallett, number 68, Jimmy Hoskins, and at defensive end, Nicholas Ely. The linebacker core starts with Carter Klaus, number 88. Caleb Patrick owns the middle, number 50. And number 55 is Daniel Ludwig. Now the defensive backs, Donovan Soto and Austin Smith are the cornerbacks. Carson Smith, the quarterback, and Brian Hernandez are the two safeties. As for the hometown Alexandria-Monroe Tigers, we'll start with the offense. Up front, it's number 69, Isaac Scott. Left guard is Jace Alberts, number 54. Number 70 is the center, Eli DeRuza. Right guard is number 59, Xander Gross. Number 77 is the right tackle, Truman Alholm. Quarterback is Gabe McGuire, 5'10", 175 pounds, the junior. He is the Swiss Army knife, though. We'll see him carry the football, throwing and punting. And then running the split ends for the Tigers on offense is Cade Abshire, number 5, and Abram May, number 24. And then in the backfield is Carson Cuneo, number 23, Jay Dillman, number 13. And the running back 2 we might see from the Tigers is Braxton Pratt. As for the Alexandria-Monroe defense, up front, the big boys. It's Trevor Martin, number 78, and Connor Etchison, number 76, 328 and 316 pounds, respectively. Also up front, number 51, James Watson, number 64, Austin DeVore. Then the linebacker core, number 23, Carson Cuneo, number 42, Jason Keeley, number 12, Braxton Pratt, and the defensive backs, number 3, Colin Johns, number 24, Abram May, number 5, Cade Abshire, and number 13, Jay Dillman. If you heard some of those names twice, that's because we're going to be playing good old two-way Indiana high school football here at Alexandria-Monroe High School. We are just seconds away now from kickoff here on homecoming at Alexandria-Monroe. Once again, my name is Sam Niger. Andrew Mild is with us, and we are excited to get rolling here on Friday Night Lights. Andrew, any last thoughts before we get rolling with kickoff?
I'm just excited to be back for some high school football, and especially in homecoming. It's going to be a great experience for you and me to be here in Alexandria-Monroe. As I don't know about you, but I don't think I've ever been to someone else's homecoming besides my own when I was in high school.
I haven't been to it. I mean, it's only been a year since I've been in my I only ever attended my own, so this is definitely exciting. Great traditions all across the country, especially on homecoming night, so very excited to get rolling here.
But also a time to be a football fan. This is going to be your favorite time. Yesterday, week 1 of college football officially started. It was a great game for Purdue. They came up short. IU's playing tonight. Your participating
performance.
No,
sure.
not against the Tennessee Volunteers. Notre Dame is playing against Ohio State tomorrow. So if you're going for the trifecta.
Absolutely. It's going to be an exciting weekend of football, and then the Colts will start here in the next couple of weeks. The NFL will get rolling. But tonight we've got Friday Night Lights, high school football here. AA Indiana High School football action between the Alexandria-Monroe Tigers and the Blackford Bruins. We're having the coin toss right now, and then we will get underway.
I'd have to say, I'm very impressed with these uniforms. They're very nice, they're very clean, and for Blackford, I really like the Michigan-style helmets. We were just talking about college football, except instead of the blue and then the maize color, I think they call it, instead of yellow, they're rocking the black and red.
Unfortunately, I am a Buckeye fan. Both my parents attended Ohio State, but I do have to give Blackford props. They make the black and red work, and I'm just going to try and pretend that they aren't. They don't look like the uniforms from that state up north.
No M's in your house. You cross them out.
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not. You do not want to talk to me the week leading up to that game. I get a little angry, but it is what it is. Speaking of the uniforms, in their home reds tonight is Alexandria-Monroe with the yellow pants, as you said, and those maroon helmets. As for Blackford, they are in their away whites with the red numbers, black pants, and then, of course, those Michigan-esque helmets with the black and red. We've had the coin toss now, and we are just moments away from football here in Alexandria, Indiana. Once again, my name is Sam Niger. Andrew Mild with us tonight here on IndianaHighSchoolSports.net, brought to you by Greg Hubler Ford here in Muncie, Indiana.
Well, from the coin toss, Monroe won it, and they're going to defer, so they'll get the ball for the second half, which I was interested to see that. I just thought maybe if Monroe won the toss, that maybe they want to go up against the Blackford defense early, because I feel like that's going to be the difference maker in our game, is if the Blackford defense can finally have a bounce-back game and limit the team from scoring. I know that's the objective of the defense, but just something Blackford's not been able to do is that's the third most in Indiana Conference.
I must admit, though, I don't blame Alexandria-Monroe for letting their defensive line eat here early, especially against such a young offensive line for Blackford. But we are just moments away now from getting underway. The opening kickoff will be taken by Alexandria-Monroe's number 58, Corey Layton, the starting kicker. 5'11", 218 pounds. The junior, he was 5 for 5 last week on extra points. And we are just about set for kickoff here at Alexandria-Monroe High School.
I love it. Here we go.
And we're going to start with a squib kick. Blackford can't grab it cleanly the first time. Eventually it is recovered. The Bruins just fall on it, and already there appears to be an Alexandria-Monroe player down, so a choppy start for both sides. Blackford nearly lost control of the football immediately, but now the injured Alexandria-Monroe football player was able to get off the field. And Blackford will take over on offense now, led by quarterback Carson Smith. We touched on this in the pregame. He's going to need a little bit of a better performance than he's had the first 2 weeks. Only 9 passes attempted this season. He was 4 of 6 last week for 75 yards and an interception. But he is a senior, the leader of this team, and he's going to start under center tonight. In the backfield is 44, Hernandez. Smith is going to pitch it. Out to his right is number 16, Donovan Soto. He gets to the edge. There's a flag down, and he takes a big shot by number 64, Austin DeVore, 6'5", 207. That's a big boy giving the lick on Soto. And Soto didn't have a carry the entire game against Fremont last week, but he gets involved in the run game here early. We'll see if it's coming back, though.
It looks like it was an area of maybe holding a block in the back.
Yeah. Waiting the call from the official, it looks like Blackford is already backing up, and they're going to go ahead and move the football back even before they make the call.
That's not a good start.
No, but man, what a hit from Austin DeVore.
Oh, man.
To get things started, set the tone on defense.
How can you not be pumped up, though?
Oh, absolutely. Looks like we've got a 1st and 19, it says, on the scoreboard right now. It should be a 1st and 20.
Maybe from the spot of the foul.
True. Under center now is Smith. It is 1st and 19. Play action now. Smith is going to attempt his first pass down the field, and it was nearly hauled in by number 5 for the Bruins. That's Ethan Gee. He wasn't even involved in the pass game last week, so Blackford certainly mixing it up here early, but it was good coverage downfield that time by number 13, Jay Dillman.
Yeah, you can't like that. You're trying to slow up the Alexandria-Monroe momentum, and also, again, missing your best running back. You hope call. They had the man-on-man coverage. Just that ball was underthrown.
It was scarily close to an interception.
Number 3.
Yeah. Under center again, it is Smith. They're going to give it to Hernandez, and Hernandez will get stonewalled. He bounces away, and he is slung down for a loss of yards that time by Connor Etchison, number 76. So the Alexandria-Monroe defense holds strong here early, and they're going to force the Bruins to punt deep in their own territory on the first drive.
Well, you mentioned it. It's going to be a battle of the trenches between the Blackford O-line and the mighty Alexandria-Monroe D-line.
Have to worry on special teams a little bit too. Special teams can make or break games sometimes, so with Blackford not having the size advantage and Alexandria-Monroe being so athletic up front, they are definitely going to want to watch that offensive line, as it's 3rd down and 19, and brought down right behind the line of scrimmage that time for Blackford was number 3, Austin Smith. That was the 4th play of the drive. That was still 3rd down, though, after the penalty. That was my mistake, but it is another loss for the Bruins, and Alexandria-Monroe absolutely dominates in the backfield that time against Blackford.
Yeah, they lost 15 yards in total in that drive. Set of downs.
Now the punt from the 10-yard line is Blackford. Low snap. And they win the trenches battle on special might have called it a play early, but I still called it as Alexandria-Monroe takes over on downs with fantastic.
That really block the punt, and you're going to start.
Excuse me, no, it's going to be 1st and 10 from the 17 for the first play for the Tigers. Gabe McGuire from the shotgun, number 7. He controls this offense, and he's going to start with a design QB run out to his right. Cuts it back to the left. He's got the end zone for a touchdown on the first play from scrimmage for the Tigers. Nothing right off the bat, and McGuire.
Player eat, and he made some players miss. He just transported his way to the end zone and scored the touchdown.
On to kick the extra point is Corey Layton. We mentioned this earlier, 5 of 5 on the point after touchdowns last week against Wabash. And the kick is no good. It looks like the officials are going to have a conversation about it, but no, it was way off to the left as it's 6-0 after the first missed extra point from Layton of the season. And we're going to take a quick break here on IndianaHighSchoolSports.net. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back from Alexandria-Monroe High School.
Every day is a great day to buy a vehicle at Greg Hubler Ford.
Because every vehicle comes with our Greg Hubler promise. On top of scheduled maintenance with your vehicle, you'll also enjoy complimentary roadside assistance, service pickup, and drop-off. And a free car wash and quick wash every time you service at Greg Hubler Ford.
We're always finding new ways to put our guests first.
Mosey on into Muncie.
Greg Hubler Ford, promise kept.
Universal Roofing and Exteriors is a family-owned and operated business, providing care and honest service for over 30 years. Universal has always been a little bit different. They're certified and trained employees.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Alexandria-Monroe High School, where the Tigers have taken a commanding lead here early, 6-0 after the blocked punt, and then one play from scrimmage. The design QB keeper from Gabe McGuire has his hometown Tigers up 6-0 here on homecoming. The kickoff now coming from Layton. They're going to go with a real kick this time. It's fielded at about the 15-yard line. Up the middle now. Trying to cut it back to the right, it is with Austin Smith. Smith looking for the edge. He's got some red uniforms in front of him. Takes a shot, but gets it back past the 40, and it's going to be a similar field position to what the Bruins started with on their first drive, but they're certainly going to be looking for a different result.
I would say it's a pretty good kick return there by Austin Smith, starting around the 15, ran up to the 40. It's a 25-yard kickoff return, and they lost 5 yards on the last drive, getting tackled in the backfield and the holding. And then first play scrimmage, as you mentioned, the Tigers scored a touchdown. So the momentum definitely on the one side. Good thing you have a whole lot of football to go.
Oh, absolutely. That is one of the only things going well for Blackford right now, is that there's still a lot of time on the clock. Carson Smith under center now for the first play from scrimmage of this second drive. He is going to give it to Hernandez, who takes a shot in the backfield, but he keeps those legs churning, and he moves forward for the first positive play from scrimmage for Blackford. It's going to be a 2-yard pickup. It'll be 2nd and 8. Still,
Hernandez is a big guy. I'm really happy to see right there is Hernandez got the ball and he kept the butter churning and able to get those 2 yards. And you're right, the first positive play for scrimmage for Blackford.
Absolutely. Blackford, though, does seem to be hurting without running back Peyton James. 6'2", 220. He had a touchdown last week. 15 carries for 185 yards. Now, Hernandez is in tandem with him. He had 10 carries for 78 yards and 2 touchdowns last week, but he is not as big of a guy, and that is not going to be a good sign against the Alexandria-Monroe stout defensive line. And there's going to be a timeout taken already here with 8:57 to go in the first quarter. 6-0 Alexandria-Monroe. We'll be right back after the Blackford Bruins timeout here on IndianaHighSchoolSports.net.
Looking for training that makes a difference? Then Genesis Sports Performance is for you. Whether you're a grade school, high school, or college athlete, or just looking to get back into shape,
Genesis has customized programs providing rapid gains in strength and conditioning, speed and agility. Genesis features a 7,000 square foot facility with state-of-the-art weight room and huge turf surface. Call Genesis at 386-7459 or visit them at genesissportsperformance.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Hartley, owner and founder of High Gear Marketing, a digital advertising company focusing on data to help businesses improve market share and drive new customers. Are you tired with the lack of accountability from your current vendors? Are you frustrated with your return on investment? Well, my program is different. You actually don't pay unless you sell something. High Gear Marketing takes all the risk. You have zero to lose. If you're interested, text me at 317-523-4100.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Alexandria-Monroe High School, where the Bruins, who have gained -3 yards here on their first two drives, line up for a 2nd and 8 with 8:57 to play here in the first quarter. Under center again is Smith. Smith takes the snap. He rolls out to his right. He's going to have to throw one up, and that was a big hit coming from the secondary. That was number 13 for Alexandria-Monroe. That's Braxton Pratt. Excuse me, that was number 12 who delivered the hit, Braxton Pratt, on Austin Smith. But that was great pressure up front from Alexandria-Monroe as they'll force the incompletion from Smith.
Yeah, that was really well covered by Jay Dillman, the cornerback right there, as he timed it up perfectly. Once that ball hit the chest of the receiver, he was there to knock it away. And right now, I've not seen a lot from the Bruins passing game.
3rd and 8 now as the Bruins try to gain some momentum. Hernandez tries to roll out to his right, and a big shot coming from Pratt once more up the middle of the linebacker. And he drops Hernandez down after only about a 2-yard pickup again. It's going to bring up 4th down and 6. So the Alexandria-Monroe defense rolling here early, absolutely commanding the trenches. And now Blackford has to worry about just getting this punt off after what we saw on the last punt attempt from the Bruins. It was blocked inside the 20-yard line.
It looks like they're going to change the football. That's why there's going to be a brief timeout on the field. The Tigers' defense, though, really playing really well, and they're telling the Bruins right now, you're in our den right now. We're going to be coming after you. And then you have the Braxton Pratt, who's 6'1", 172, put a very good lick on Hernandez, who's 5'8", 145, but Hernandez runs downhill, and he punches anyone, but Pratt was up for the challenge and slowed him down and allowed his teammates to come in and clean up the mess.
Here comes the attempted punt from the Bruins. We'll see if they can get it off this time. High snap. This time the punt is off, and it is a good one. That goes deep into Alexandria-Monroe territory, and it's going to be touchdown right at the 11-yard line, and that is where Alexandria-Monroe will take over. We're going to take a quick break, though. Well, we're going to stay here, on IndianaHighSchoolSports.net. Sam Niger, Andrew Mile with you, as we will get to see a full drive, perhaps, from Gabe McGuire, number 7, who scampered into the end zone for a touchdown on the last drive. And Blackford, who is not very big up front on the offensive side of the ball. They are not a big team on the defensive line either. Their biggest guy would be Jimmy Hoskins at 5'10", 210 pounds, a senior. From the pistol now, it's McGuire. Out to his right is Carson Cuneo. He's going to give it to Cuneo. Out to his left. Cuneo with some room to run. Shakes a couple of tacklers free, and he's out past the 35. So the run game is alive and well here for Alexandria-Monroe as they move the sticks for the first time tonight.
Yeah, I was really impressed with Carson Cuneo, as whenever I saw him run, he runs like he's a slab of concrete, looking to just hit anyone hard, and he just has a really good quick step. Not only is he a good running back, he's also a mighty impressive weak side linebacker.
Absolutely, and he's a big boy too at 6'1", 191. He had 2 touchdowns last week against Wabash. It's a design QB run for McGuire again, up the middle.
Oh, man.
Bounces it back to his left now, trying to find the edge. He shakes another tackler free, and he just steps out, avoiding the hit on the sideline. That's going to be a 9-yard QB keeper. We'll see if they don't move the sticks on this. We'll look at the spot. It looks like McGuire is going to be about a yard short. But, man, the shiftiness that time from him to dodge the tacklers, and tackling appears to be a big problem here for Blackford, especially on the defensive line.
Yeah, McGuire right there, he pulled a Houdini trick right there. That play was designed to go up the gut, and once he realized that there was no hole, he couldn't back out, but they're going to give him the first down. They looked at it and say, you know what, the nose of the ball is there, move those chains.
Absolutely, so McGuire, 2 first down rushes now, including 1 for a touchdown. He is going to give it to number 12, that's Dillman.
Oh, nice block.
Out to the right, Dillman gets the edge, and he is going to pick up the first down. That was Braxton Pratt, number 12. 6'2", 170, the senior who bounced outside.
Yeah, but Dillman with the block, he really sealed off that edge and allowed Braxton Pratt to turn the corner and get the first down, gain about 12 right there, and that's 3 straight plays where the Tigers have gone to the ground game and picked up the first down and keep moving the chains down the field.
McGuire now from the gun once more in Blackford territory. He's going to drop back to pass for the first time tonight. The southpaw lets it go. This is well underthrown. And going up to make the grab is the Alexandria-Monroe receiver. It's going to be pass interference on the Bruins as well. It was a fantastic catch off of not the greatest throw. Number 3, Colin Johns, the slot receiver, hauled it in that time. He is one of McGuire's favorite targets. Only 1 catch last week for 21 yards, or excuse me, 1 carry last week for 21 yards, but 6 receptions for 90 yards and a touchdown.
He takes this.
What an absolute athletic play by Colin Johns to battle for that duck of a throw from McGuire. As McGuire threw it up there, it was loopy, it was not a very strong spiral, and Johns really just turned into a center fielder there, ran towards the ball, and brought it in, battling some Blackfoot Bruins cornerbacks, and somehow just ripping it away, and they're just outside the 10-yard line.
I will say for McGuire, though, if he's going to have a bad throw like that, he'll want it to be early, as he's got play action now on first down, rolling out to his right, avoiding the tacklers again. Looks like he's going to take it down to run, but Blackford is swarming him in the backfield, and they're going to drop him for a sack, their first of the season. It was a whole gang of Bruins in there on the far side of the field that time to wrap up McGuire, trying to do something athletic with the legs again. Just didn't have anybody downfield, and it was well read by the Bruins, perhaps their best play of the day so far.
It was really good coverage, and then once you see McGuire take out of the pocket, then you know he's trying to get some more time for his receivers to get open. That's when you start coming after him, and it was just nothing but white jerseys coming after McGuire. McGuire made a business decision and pocketed the ball, and he takes a sack, but it could be worse for the Tigers.
Goes down as a 4-yard sack as he's going to shovel it forward now to Smith, who gets to the right edge. He takes a shot over on the sideline, and he's dropped out of bounds about 4 or 5 yards short of the line to game. So that's going to be bring up the first 3rd down for Alexandria-Monroe of the game. It is 3rd and 4 on the 6-yard line of Blackford.
Well, that's a bread and butter play for them right there, is the forward pass, and allow their speedy receivers, their athletes, to go to their right and go and cut around the corner.
McGuire rolls out to his left now. He checks one down into the end zone, and that ball is intercepted by Blackford. There's a flag, and that's going to be holding on the offense, but I think that's a turnover off the interception. Holding it in that time for Blackford was number 3, Austin Smith, and I believe it's going to be Blackford ball at their 1-yard line, inside the 1-yard line. So a very uncharacteristic throw of McGuire that time.
And he had options there. It's just, it was off the mark, and Austin Smith was there to catch the pass. But there is confusion going on right now. And it looks like it's Blackford ball.
Yeah, we really hadn't had a ruling from the officials other than the spot of the ball. No one was signaled for touchdown, and of course Blackford came up with the ball. So it is going to be Bruins ball, but they've got to worry about the threat of a safety here with the big boys that Alexandria-Monroe has up front. Obviously, the Tigers would have preferred a touchdown, but they are going to be feeling good about themselves here on defense. It's marked at the 1-yard line, but from up top, it looks like it might be even inside of that, as Carson Smith is going to take it from his own end zone under center, about as close to a touchback as you could possibly be, as there's more whistles down on the field now, and the clock stops at 7:04.
It looked like maybe it was an equipment issue for Jason Keeley, the middle linebacker.
Smith surveys the field before he takes the snap. Smith pitches it out to his left, and the play is blown dead. There was movement up front. Goodness gracious, you can't get much closer to the you can't get much closer to the end zone than Blackford is now.
I guess half of 2 inches is 1?
Yeah.
Move it back an inch?
It's still going to be first and 10.
Yeah, that's maybe a centimeter closer to the goal line. And that's just the front line of Blackford trying to get a good push off the line of scrimmage because they know they have no airspace between them and the goal line. And you're right, they got to be worried about the safety and the very athletic D-line of the Tigers.
It is certainly time to dig deep for the Bruins offensive line. McGuire under center once more. They're going to run the same exact play. They give it to Smith. Smith gets a little space out to his left. It's ran perfectly as he gets out across the 10, and he's actually going to pick up a first down. He lost the football at the end. Alexandria-Monroe fell on it, but I believe they are going to rule Smith down. And that will move the sticks for Blackford, their first down of this game here with 6:54 to play here in the first quarter.
And what a first half for Austin Smith.
Absolutely, and that was a great play call that time. They stuck with what they wanted on that first play. Alexandria-Monroe didn't respect it, and the Bruins come up with a nice chunk play on first down. Now from the 11-yard line.
Now you got to wonder if maybe they're going to run that same play, but going the opposite direction to the near sideline with them being on the left hash.
Smith under center. He gives it up the middle to Hernandez instead, and that goes nowhere. That has not worked at all in this first quarter as the big boys, Etchison, Martin, and Watson up front for Alexandria-Monroe just swallow up the 5'8" Hernandez. And that is going to bring up 2nd and 10. The officials are going to say that they got the ball back to the line of scrimmage. So Blackford has some work to do now on 2nd and long.
Well, I think the only way you're going to be able to beat this Tigers defense thus far is if you can beat them to the edge. Going right up the middle has not been working, especially helps for Alexandria-Monroe's defense when you have 320-pound defensive tackles waiting for your running backs.
Size and speed do not always coincide, especially on the defensive line. As Smith rolls out to his left, he chucks one downfield and he overthrows his receiver. That is number 5, Ethan Gee. That's the second time he's been targeted tonight. First pass was underthrown. That one was well overthrown, and it's going to bring up 3rd and 10 now. As we were mentioning, speed and strength do not always coincide on the defensive line, so Alexandria-Monroe might have some trouble getting to that edge to tackle whoever might be carrying the ball for the Bruins, but right now they're giving enough pressure in the backfield to slow Blackford down big time.
Yeah, I just feel as though I have not seen Carson Smith too comfortable when throwing the ball. That time it just felt like he was forcing the pass down the field, and he missed it by a good 4 or 5 yards.
And now there's going to be a whistle again. A second timeout taken by Blackford with 5:35 to play. They aren't going to have hardly any timeouts left towards the end of this first half, but that does give us a chance to go to a break. So we will be right back here. 6-0, Alexandria-Monroe leading Blackford on IndianaHighSchoolSports.net.
Hi, I'm Steve Hartley, owner and founder of High Gear Marketing, a digital advertising company focusing on data to help businesses improve market share and drive new customers. Are you tired with the lack of accountability from your current vendors? Are you frustrated with your return on investment? Well, my program is different. You actually don't pay unless you sell something. High Gear Marketing takes all the risk. You have 0 to lose. If you're interested, text me at 317-523-4100.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to first quarter action here at Alexandria-Monroe High School, where the visiting Blackford Bruins are facing a 3rd down and 10 here in the first quarter, down 6-0 on the road. Under center is Carson Smith. He's 0 for 3 tonight so far. We'll see if we don't see another pass attempt from here on third down. We will. Smith over the middle and overthrowing Gee again that time. Leaping to try and make the interception was Cade Abshire, the safety, who's been flying around all over that Alexandria-Monroe secondary. And it will bring up a fourth down again for Blackford. This will be the third fourth down of the night. And perhaps a little deja vu for the Bruins. They were in a similar situation on their first drive. It was a 3-and-out to start for Blackford, but then it got even worse as they had the punt blocked inside the red zone. Second punt was actually booming for Blackford, but it's going to come down to whether or not they can get it off in the first place.
But that drive started off really well with a 10-yard run for a first down. That play clock's going to run out. They're going to take a delay game.
They do get the snap off. And there is the punt. That is going to bounce in Blackford territory, and it's going to be picked up at the 48-yard line of Alexandria-Monroe. McGuire, the quarterback, picks it up, takes it back to his right. He's got some room on the right side, trying to shake a couple of tacklers free to get back inside, but he takes the ball all the way down to the 25-yard line of Blackford. So McGuire shows you his return speed there as well, and he gives his Tigers some great field position here to try and homer home a second touchdown.
Yeah, that's a 21-yard return for McGuire. But I was really impressed right there that he waited for it and then realized that his punt coverage was so good from his team, the blocking, that he picked it up and took off. And anytime that McGuire can get the football and run with it, you're going to take that chance every time, as he has just been phenomenal running the ball thus far.
It's going to go down as a 22-yard return. They'll spot it on the 30. McGuire gets some pressure. He checks it down over the middle. Ball is tipped up, and nobody was there to haul it in that time. Ethan Gee was the one who tipped it up at the line of scrimmage. You'll see him sometimes running a linebacker position. Sometimes he will line up on the defensive line. We've called his name a lot tonight. He hasn't had a whole lot of effect on the offensive side of the ball, but making his presence felt on defense, one of the bright spots for the Bruins here early on the defensive side of the ball. McGuire now, and his Tigers face a 2nd and 10. Last drive resulted in an interception at the 1-yard line, as they're going to hand the ball up front, and that's a great read that time from the Bruins. They saw it coming, and that time it was the Blackford defense that dropped the Alexandria-Monroe Tigers for a loss inside 5 minutes to go here in the first quarter. It's going to be third and way long now, 3rd and 11.
It's a misdirection right there, trying to go to the wide receiver, Jay Dillman, from the slot. And you're right, somehow the Bruins saw that and sniffed it out and stopped it in the backfield.
Play action now. It's a screen pass. Goes out to number 3, that's Johns. Johns tries to shake loose from a couple of white jerseys, but he's dropped it about the 20-yard line. That'll put him right at about the line to gain. We'll see where the officials spot it. Of course, the Tigers signaling for a first down, but the official says otherwise. It's going to be 4th and very short. And, of course, Alexandria-Monroe is going to go for it here, deep in Blackford territory. It's homecoming. They've got a 6-0 cushion already as McGuire lines up under center. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see a QB keep. He's actually going to hand it off now to Cuneo. He takes a shot, but he's well across the 20-yard line. It was 4th and inches, and Cuneo just keeps the legs churning to take the ball inside the red zone for an Alexandria-Monroe first down.
Yeah, just go to your running back. That's going to give you a good couple of yards every time, because he, again, is a really good downhill runner. Once he gets that ball, he hits his hole hard and punches anyone that tries to stop him. And I really like the screenplay also to Johns, who leads the Central Indiana Conference in receptions.
McGuire from the gun once more. Oh, and some movement up front once again. I wonder if the hard count didn't get the Bruins that time. And it is offsides against the Bruins, so that's going to make it 1st and 5 for Alexandria-Monroe. Ball is going to be placed at just inside the 15-yard line for the Tigers. 1st and 5 now. We'll see if the Tigers don't open up the playbook a little bit here in the red zone. 3 receivers out to the right for McGuire. He's going to pitch it to Cuneo. He's got a little room to run. He takes it back inside. There is a flag down as Cuneo takes it inside the 15 inside the 10, excuse me, for what will be a first down unless the officials have something to say about it. They do. That's going to be a holding penalty against Alexandria-Monroe, so that is going to back up the Tigers 10 yards.
Yeah, they got Truman Alhorn, the senior right tackle, on that one. As when he stood up, there was a Blackford defender laying right down next to him, and once he realized the flag was on him, he was frozen in time.
Absolutely. I think Cuneo might have realized it as well, as he was brought down just inside the 10-yard line. So we've got a 1st and 15 now for the Tigers. 1st and 17, excuse me.
1st and 17 now, ball on the 27 for our Tigers.
McGuire from the gun once more. We'll see if he doesn't open it up with his arm. He is dropping back to throw. Across the middle, it's hauled in. Shaking the tackler free now and scampering into the end zone for a touchdown. Abram May, number 24, just one reception last week, but he makes his first of the night count. And that is the second touchdown for the Tigers. A great play call, a perfect throw from McGuire, and he let May do the rest. It is going to be 12-0 Tigers now at home.
Yeah, he stepped into that one and fired a bullet. And then some really good awareness by Colin Johns, and then turn up and block the only Bruin that was in the area, and that turns into 6 more points for the Tigers, and they're going to go for 2 here to make this a 14-0 game.
Corey Layton missed the extra point on the first touchdown. So McGuire goes from the gun again to make it 14. He rolls out to his left. It's a design QB keeper, and he delivers the hit against the defense and falls into the end zone for the 2-point conversion. He was willing to give a body blow that time to make his team go up 14-0 at home on homecoming. The Alexandria-Monroe Tigers lead the Blackford Bruins here on IndianaHighSchoolSports.net.
Every day is a great day to buy a vehicle at Greg Hubler Ford.
Because every vehicle comes with our Greg Hubler promise. On top of scheduled maintenance with your vehicle, you'll also enjoy complimentary roadside assistance, service pickup, and drop-off. And a free car wash and quick wash every time you service at Greg Hubler Ford.
We're always finding new ways to put our guests first.
Mosey on into Muncie.
Greg Hubler Ford, promise kept.
Welcome back once again, ladies and gentlemen, to Alexandria-Monroe High School, where the hometown Tigers have just gone up 14-0 after the pitch and catch from Gabe McGuire to Abram May and the 2-point conversion scramble from McGuire. It has been all Tigers here in this first quarter as the kicker Corey Layton gets ready to send it away deep into Bruins territory. Back deep to receive for the Bruins is number 3, Austin Smith. He's had a good game so far for Blackford, and he has been dangerous in the return game. Not as dangerous as McGuire for Alexandria-Monroe, but we'll see if he can't make things happen on the kickoff. It's another squib kick. That's the second of the night. It bounces off of Blackford, and the Bruins fall on it just outside their own 30-yard line. And it's going to be decent field position once more for Blackford. I'm not sure if these squib kicks are designed for Alexandria-Monroe or if Layton is just whiffing a little bit. Usually he's a pretty solid kicker. He was 5 for 5 on PATs last week, but that is the second time we have seen a squib kick here earlier. Maybe trying to catch Blackford off guard. But now Smith is going to take it under center again. 0 of 3 throwing tonight. 0 of 4, excuse me. Smith hands it up the middle. Yeah, that is number 20. That's Gage Dow, the sophomore, who takes a hit, and he moves the ball forward about 3 or 4 yards. It's going to be second manageable now for the Bruins. Chunk plays like that are going to get it done for Blackford, but they have had very little of that so far.
Oh, wow.
And there's a penalty flag thrown. I didn't even see one down on the field.
I think they're blending in with the yellow pants. That's why they were hard to see.
So that is going to go against the Alexandria-Monroe Tigers, and that is a personal foul. So a big chunk gain that time for Blackford. And honestly, the penalty might be the most yards that the Bruins have gained on a play all night. It takes them into Alexandria-Monroe territory for the first time tonight. They will spot the ball at the 48 for the Tigers as Smith takes under center again. Smith this time hands it off to his right, up the middle, and that's another decent chunk play. This time Donovan Soto gets his second carry of the night, and he had the hesitation, he had the patience to take it about 5 yards. One of the better runs we've seen tonight, especially up the middle. Kudos to Blackford, though, for continuing to go to the ground game despite the dominance up front on the Alexandria-Monroe defensive line.
Now you're going to wonder if at some point they're going to open up the playbook and go back to the play fake and allow Smith to roll out. And you just got to get your quarterback some confidence. I know he started off 0 for 4 and he's been off the mark several times, but you got to incorporate him into your offense.
Under center again is Smith. He is going to hand it off up the middle. Dow stonewalled once more at the line of scrimmage, and he is dropped right at the line of scrimmage. Looked like a tackle for a loss up here, but I think the officials are still going to spot it at the 43-yard line.
It looked like a miscommunication, sorry about that, about Dow and Smith, because Smith turned to give Dow the ball, but they hit each other. Yeah. So any momentum that Dow had going towards the line was immediately stopped because he didn't want to take out his own quarterback. And then after that, he was just able to scamper to the line of scrimmage, and that's where the Tigers were waiting for him.
Dow, not one of the traditional ball carriers for Blackford. He had 4 carries last week, but lots of guys have a lot more rushes than him. As Smith is going to roll out to his left. He's going to take a hit, and he's dropped all the way back in Blackford territory. Swarming in there is number 42 for Alexandria-Monroe, Jason Keeley. The middle linebacker delivers a big hit on the quarterback, Smith, and it is going to be 4th and long now, 4th and 14 back in Bruins territory as the clock rolls inside 30 seconds to play here in the 4th quarter, and a punt awaiting for the Bruins. On for the 4th time tonight is Grant Ridgway, number 10.
What a read by Keeley, the middle linebacker, to realize the run was there, and he just sprinted through the hole and met Smith in the backfield, and he didn't go anywhere.
Punt away this time from Ridgway, and that bounces out of bounds. Not a super long punt, so decent field position outside the 35 for Alexandria-Monroe. We are going to stay here for 0.6 seconds before this first quarter comes to an end. One play from scrimmage for the Tigers. Do you think they're taking a shot, or do you think they're just going to run the football?
Just run your traditional offense right here. Go to Cuneo or even let McGuire carry it to run out the clock and really start celebrating a really good first quarter, and get ready for the second quarter. And you want to win the first 2 quarters of this ball game and go into the second half strong.
Absolutely. Alex, we are having some technical difficulties with our camera right now, so we'll try to deliver you the news of this play as best as we can and fix that at the break. But right now, McGuire is in the gun with Cuneo out to his right. Play action. It is going to be a keeper for McGuire. Hesitates in the backfield, and he is slung down for a 1-yard loss. Looked maybe like a horse collar tackle of some kind, but no flags come out of the official's pocket. It's going to be 2nd and 11 when we come back here on IndianaHighSchoolSports.net. 14-0. The Tigers lead the visiting Blackford Bruins on homecoming on IndianaHighSchoolSports.net.
Looking for training that makes a difference? Then Genesis Sports Performance is for you. Whether you're a grade school, high school, or college athlete, or just looking to get back into shape, Genesis has customized programs providing rapid gains in strength and conditioning, speed and agility. Genesis features a 7,000 square foot facility with state-of-the-art weight room and huge turf surface. Call Genesis at 386-7459 or visit them at genesissportsperformance.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Hartley, owner and founder of High Gear Marketing, a digital advertising company focusing on data to help businesses improve market share and drive new customers. Are you tired with the lack of accountability from your current vendors? Are you frustrated with your return on investment? Well, my program is different. You actually don't pay unless you sell something. High Gear Marketing takes all the risk. You have 0 to lose. If you're interested, text me at 317-523-4100.
The Tigers are in the shotgun. McGuire takes a snap. He throws immediately to his receiver that was in the screenplay. He's got a convoy in front of him, and they're going to get a good chunk play after the 1 yard loss and make it third and manageable after the completion to Kaid Abshire, and this will make it third and about 5, just outside the 45 yard line or 43 yard line. They're going to stay in the gun with 2 receivers to the left. The tight end is to the right in Dillman. And hand off to Corneo. He's going to his right. He sheds off a bust forwards past a arm tackle, and he gets the first down. And there's a hold, and that's going to come back.
And we apologize for the technical difficulties, ladies and gentlemen. The cameras are back online now, as are our mics. So this is Sam Niger joining you on the play-by-play. Andrew Mild is with us for color commentary. Of course, a holding against the Tigers, as we just heard, and that is going to back things up for third down and long now against the Tigers, up 14. 45 seconds into this second quarter. Ball is going to be spotted at the 23-yard line. 23-yard line, excuse me, as it's going to be third down and 15. McGuire from the gun again. Out to his left is Cuneo. McGuire. Play action. Rolls out to his left. Another design keeper. He gets to the edge. Bounces off a tackler. Hesitates again. He gets that yardage back from the penalty, and he just explodes into the secondary. Still shaking tackler.
Wow.
On his feet before he is brought down inside the 45. My goodness, what an athletic play. And did you see that explosiveness from McGuire?
Yeah, I've never seen a quarterback quite like that, where he stopped, saw the hole, and then put his foot in the ground and was just gone. It's almost as though he had rockets in the back of his shoes, and he got the first down and puts the Tigers in Bruins territory.
We've heard making something out of nothing. We've heard of that before, but that was making a lot out of nothing. He hesitated in the backfield. Looked like the play was going nowhere on third and long. Gutsy call to let your quarterback keep it on 3rd and 15, but he moves the sticks and gets it done for the Tigers. Under center from the gun is McGuire once more. It's going to be a shovel pass forward, and wrapped up right around the line of scrimmage is number 13, Jay Dillman for the Tigers. He falls forward for about a 2 or 3 yard pickup here. So it is going to be second down and 8. It's the second time now we've seen that shovel pass utilized for the Tigers. As jogging to the sideline is McGuire. It looks like they're just going to give him a break here. Number 12 for Alexandria-Monroe, that's Braxton Pratt. Excuse me, number 2 is Brady Gast. He is going to take the snap from the gun. Pratt is in the backfield as the running back. A little bit of concern for McGuire on the sideline now as Gast goes play action, and they're going to let him throw, but the ball is not going to be hauled in off the screen pass to Colin Johns. A rare drop from Johns, one of the best receivers in the conference. And so that's going to be 3rd and 8. As the head coach's son, Pete Gast, is not afraid to throw it on his first play from the gun.
Just left it up a little bit too high. When you go into the flats like that and try to get it to your athletic wide receiver who leads this league in conference, you want to hit him in the chest, and it's made a really tough play for no reason for his wide receiver. If only he was a couple inches taller.
Gast from the gun once more. He's got a 3rd down and 8. He's going to give the ball up the middle, and tripped up from behind that time was number 13. That's Jay Dillman. Excuse me, Braxton Pratt. Number 12 was the man with the carry that time, and he's just going to be about 2 yards short. It's going to be 4th down and 3 is the call on the field. So we'll see if the Tigers don't gamble it again with their backup quarterback in the ballgame now.
Yeah, that was Caleb Patrick that was on the ground that somehow tripped up the running back there, and it looked like he had a convoy blocker ahead of him and a lot of green grass, and luckily for Patrick, he was there and stopped him in his tracks.
Absolutely a clutch tackle to bring down Pratt, but a timeout taken by Alexandria-Monroe here with 9:10 to play in the first half. First timeout spent by the Tigers. The Bruins have already spent 2, so the clock management has not exactly been on point for the hobbled Blackford team tonight. Once again, star running back Peyton James, who had a touchdown last week, 15 carries, 185 yards. He is sidelined tonight, and you can actually see him over on the Blackford sideline in crutches. But Gabe McGuire has looked spectacular tonight. We thought coming in that he would be one of the key players to watch in this game, and Andrew, he has delivered thus far.
Oh, he definitely has. You didn't know how good of a runner he truly was. When you look at stats, it only tells you some of the story. But once you saw that run where he was on his own 34 and scampered up a good 40 yards and was able to just hit those jet burners, that was impressive. A really athletic run, and it shows that he might be able to play at the next level in college football.
Absolutely, but Gast in the ball game now, the backup quarterback, the coach's son, and he's going to hand it off to his right. Pratt has some room to run. Pratt streaking up the field, bounces off a couple of tacklers, and he's brought down right inside the 10. They had McGuire in as a slot receiver moving around in the backfield, but it was Pratt who gets the call, and he makes the most of it. A big run that time, picking apart this Bruins D.
I will say that the Tigers have a very athletic offensive weapons in the form of Cuneo, Dillman, and right there you saw it with Pratt. And Pratt, once he turned the corner, he was gone.
Pratt out of the ball game now for Cuneo here at the 10. It's 1st and goal. Gas takes the snap again. He gives it to McGuire. McGuire out to his left, tries to cut it back across into the middle of the field, but he is brought down after only about a 2-yard pickup. It is going to be 2nd and 8, and they are using him all over the field. What a fun player to watch in Gabe McGuire.
So I'm starting to wonder if maybe Sean Payton's on the sideline and Taysom Hill is playing, because that's the only other time I can think of a player that is used like that in so many different forms.
Well, he is Taysom Hill-esque the way he has played tonight, especially with the way he's been running the football and in the return game. Also the punter, but we haven't seen a whole lot of that tonight from the Tigers.
Which is good news for the Tigers.
Oh, for sure. Gast from the gun again. He gives it to Cuneo. Hesitates up the middle, trying to make a couple of Bruins miss, and he's brought down inside the 5-yard line. Cuneo has definitely been the power back tonight, running between the tackles, but he has made the most of it now. It's going to be 3rd and goal from the 3.
Yeah, they're knocking on the door, make this a 3-possession game before we even hit halftime, and if that's the case, halftime show is going to be a doozy from the Tigers on homecoming.
Yeah, 20-minute halftime, 10 extra minutes than what we're used to, but we will be joined by legendary IHSAA official Pat Strong up here in the booth for an interview.
Yeah, Pat Strong wore a Butler hat on the way here today, so I was pretty excited to see that.
Back in the game at quarterback is McGuire. He was lined up as a receiver on the last play, but there's going to be a timeout taken, it looks like, second of this drive from the Tigers. So that is going to give us a second to take a quick break here on IndianaHighSchoolSports.net. Sam Niger, Andrew Mild with you, and we have 7:22 to play here in the second half.
Looking for training that makes a difference? Then Genesis Sports Performance is for you. Whether you're a grade school, high school, or college athlete, or just looking to get back into shape, Genesis has customized programs providing rapid gains in strength and conditioning, speed and agility. Genesis features a 7,000 square foot facility with state-of-the-art weight room and huge turf surface. Call Genesis at 386-7459 or visit them at genesissportsperformance.com.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Alexandria, Indiana, where the Tigers of Alexandria-Monroe are knocking on the door once again. It is 3rd down and 4. It's 3rd down and goal from the 4, I should say, with McGuire back in. He's going to hand it off to Cuneo. Bounces outside to the right, and he falls into the end zone on his right knee for a touchdown. And there's no signal yet. And there finally is a signal from the center official. The line judges didn't want to make the call. They made the head official do it. And it is 20-0 now Tigers. First time that we see Cuneo punch it through for a touchdown tonight. He becomes the 3rd Tiger to score, the 2nd on the ground.
Well, I'm not one that is allowed to hand out nicknames, but I have to call Carson Cuneo the Cannonball.
Absolutely. He has been a force tonight running between the tacklers. He bounced it outside that time. as this time the extra point is up and good from Layton. He was 5 of 5 last week. He is 1 of 2 tonight, but that makes it 21-0. The Tigers up at home on homecoming here on IndianaHighSchoolSports.net.
Hi, I'm Steve Hartley, owner and founder of High Gear Marketing, a digital advertising company focusing on data to help businesses improve market share and drive new customers. Are you tired with the lack of accountability from your current vendors? Are you frustrated with your return on investment? Well, my program is different. You actually don't pay unless you sell something. High Gear Marketing takes all the risk. You have zero to lose. If you're interested, text me at 317-523-4100.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we are about halfway through this second quarter at Alexandria-Monroe High School, where the hometown Tigers lead the visiting Blackford Bruins 21-0 after the touchdown from Carson Cuneo, the 4-yard rush to punch it through, and now a big cushion for the Tigers at home.
Yeah, that touchdown right there has put Blackford over 100 points given up this season. There's actually 108 points surrendered through 3 games.
Blackford averages 43.5 points per game against them, and they are about halfway there here in this first half as another squib kick is going to be taken by Alexandria-Monroe. Fielded cleanly this time by Blackford, but a shot up the middle that time on special teams. And goodness gracious, I think that might have hurt the tackler more than anyone. Braxton Pratt, another big hit up front.
What happens when the unstoppable force hits the immovable object? That's what it looks like. That was a pop.
Those two absolutely bounced off of each other, but it is going to be decent field position for Blackford. We'll see if they can make anything of it this time. It has been disappointing offensive drive after disappointing offensive drive for the Bruins. Can Carson Smith, the quarterback, get rolling like Gabe McGuire?
0 for 4 to start the game today, and they got to score a touchdown if they want to stay in this ball game.
Smith under center again, hands it off up the middle, trying to bounce it outside. That time was number 3 Austin Smith, and that is maybe a 2-yard pickup for the Bruins as the clock rolls inside 7 minutes to play. I think they're only going to give a 1-yard pickup that time to the Bruins. So if you're the Bruins and you have not been successful running the football so far, Andrew, how do you mix it up? How do you create some kind of momentum on offense?
You need someone to step up and make a big play. You got to run the best play in practice and do it right here and hope that it translates.
They hand it off again up the middle, and this time it'll be a little more than just a yard for the Bruins. Hard to see who got the call that time. It is going to be number 3, Austin Smith. He never actually got taken to the ground. Despite being a little guy at 5'8", 130, the senior is doing everything he can to keep his Bruins in this game.
Yeah, and it looked like Smith was even getting a little mouthy with one of the defensive linemen, and you don't want frustrations to boil over. You've seen it plenty in football. It's a very emotional game, and there can be some frustration for Blackford. But I do like that even though they're down 3 touchdowns, there's still a fire to the Bruins as they try to respond to the Tigers in the first half.
They're going to need a little fire here on 3rd down as well. 3rd and 4. Under center again is Smith. And he is going to go play action, rolling out to his left. Downfield, and it's just overthrown. He was looking for Soto that time. And that is 5 incompletions now for Carson Smith. Nothing has really been on target for him tonight. Soto was open. He just overthrew him.
Yeah, you even saw me. I saw Soto running more of a route towards the near sideline, and Smith just outthrew him again. His receivers are open. He's just not hitting his targets.
It has been a tough night for sure for Smith. He at least had 4 completed passes. He had 66% completion percentage last week, but he is 0 for 5 right now as the punting crew comes back on for Blackford. Another clean punt for the Bruins after that first punt got blocked. Ooh, but it takes an Alexandria-Monroe bounce, and it's going to be down right at about the 30-yard line.
Oh, late hit.
Yeah, and multiple flags are going to fly in. That is going to go against Alexandria-Monroe as number 50 for the Bruins, Caleb Patrick, got taken to the ground after the play.
Yeah, that looks like they're going to call that on Jason Keeley.
Oh,
and another flag. Flags are just flying everywhere.
And that was well after the play. Something had to have been said that time from the Tigers. But this could be rough field position to start for Alexandria-Monroe. This is probably the worst thing that has happened to the Tigers tonight, though, which is definitely a good sign. Up 21-0 at home on homecoming.
Yeah, if your player blocking until the whistle blows is a bad problem to have, then that's a good first half, as you just put it. 21-0. They're going to start on their own 15-yard line. Actually, 2.
One of them's a dead ball, one of them's a live ball.
So 1 dead ball foul, 1 live foul.
Wow.
So that means 2 penalties are going to go against Alexandria-Monroe, and that football is getting backed way up. Oh my gosh, the official's still walking. That is going to be spotted inside the 10, so it turns out to be a spectacular punt from the Bruins after the penalties against the Tigers. And
you back it up 15, and then you back it up the half a distance to the goal. So this drive is going to start at the 7.5-yard line. So that can be math sometimes.
Yes, that was good. Hey, you were showing off a little before the game as well.
You're going to college for your 5th year. You should be able to divide 15 by 2.
Now from the gun once more, it is McGuire. He is lined up on his own 1-yard line just outside the end zone. He drops back to throw this time. Pump fake, and he is going to check it down to number 5. That is hauled in by Cade Abshire, and it is completed. And that is going to move the sticks for Alexandria-Monroe. That's not going to move the sticks, excuse me. That's second down. 8-yard pickup that time. Bit of a weird angle here from the right side of the press box. It is 2nd and 2 now as we tick inside 5 minutes to play here in this first half. Alexandria-Monroe continues to fire on all cylinders on offense. We mentioned it earlier. A very balanced attack as they are showing off here tonight at home. Cuneo gets the call this time, running out to his right. He is slung down once more. The officials keep the flag in their pocket again. That was a textbook horse collar tackle that time.
Yeah, that was a face mask. Either way, that should have been 15 yards from what I saw.
Yeah. And the chains are going to move this time for Alexandria-Monroe. It is enough, despite the fact that Cuneo was slung down. From the gun once more, it is McGuire. And he's going to pitch it out to his left after the high snap. Cuneo has it, trying to show off the speed. Makes a couple of tacklers free. He's got some space, trying to bounce off a hit, and he is roped down at the 40-yard line this time. And this time, the horse collar tackle will be called, as that is going to move the Tigers back from the 40-yard line. Still going to be a fresh set of downs, so I believe, for the Tigers. With 4:07 to play, that's where the clock is stopped now. 21-0 Alexandria-Monroe has the lead. And the officials are going to wave the foul off.
Yeah, they waved that off. I'm shocked by that. But for me, it just seems as though Blackford is coming in too high on their tackles. You got to aim for the waist or below. You ever seen a running back run without no legs? You got to take them out. You can't keep going up high because Cuneo is a strong running back, and he's just going to keep shutting off those tacklers if they keep going above his waist.
Showed off a little bit of the speed there. We've seen him between the tackles a lot tonight. That is Cuneo. But he gets a little space as McGuire keeps it on first down here. He tries to turn it upfield, bouncing out to his left. He's behind the line of scrimmage again, trying to shake a couple of tacklers free. He has some space along the sideline. Oh, and he's waved out of bounds. It looked like he did step on the sideline here. It is enough for a first down, though. Goodness gracious, that was a long run for McGuire, but it picks up the yardage to gain. Oh, and it looks like there's another flag down, so the end of this first half continues to drag out. And it's going to bring it back for Alexandria-Monroe.
But again, Gabe McGuire, he's just in a league of his own. It feels as though that he is playing on an easier difficulty than anyone else on the field. He may have gained 10 yards, but for me, I think he ran somewhere between 20 to 30 yards. going both vertically and laterally. And his patience and his explosiveness was allowed him to have such a good start to this year, and that's why he's first in yards in the entire Central Indiana Conference.
It looked like backyard football.
It did, yeah.
Absolutely running horizontally, running vertically. He was all over the field, and he has been all over the field from tonight as he is about to take the snap from the gun. Dropping back to throw this time. He has all day as he launches one downfield, and that ball is deflected away. Good coverage that time down the field by Austin Smith. Man, he has been all over the field on both sides of the ball. One of the bright spots for the Bruins as he slows down this Tigers attack here with 3.5 to play in the second quarter.
Yeah, they try to go back to Colin Johns on that deep shot to get back all those yards that they just lost, which was just 5. And that was a good throw. It was just up for grabs. He just put too much underneath the ball and allowed Smith to run underneath it. But you're right. Austin Smith, who already has an interception, almost got number 2 and made Colin Johns turn from wide receiver to DB immediately.
It is 2nd and 15 now for McGuire. He lets another one go downfield. Perhaps a little underthrown this time, but it is hauled in along the sidelines. Cade Abshire that time was the one to bring it in. Another one of McGuire's favorite targets, and that is a big first down for Alexandria-Monroe. And now we're getting to see the arm from Cade McGuire.
That was just some bad coverage down this near sideline by Donovan Soto. He didn't play the ball. He didn't turn his head. He ran, and he would have had a plan if he were turning it around. He just threw his arms up and hoped he'd hit it. And for Cade Upshire, that turned into an easy pitch and catch for McGuire.
McGuire will pitch it out to his left this time. Pratt out to his left. He's got the first down, and he's got more. Some space into the end zone. Pratt, another touchdown, and it is all Tigers right now at home. It is going to be 27-0 as we near the end of this second quarter. My goodness, Alexandria-Monroe is putting on a show here at home on homecoming.
Yeah, it was a simple just pitch to the left side. I was just really impressed with Pratt, the senior running back who worked his way around traffic, and once he hit that corner, he was gone. No white jerseys in front of him.
Leighton on for the extra point. 1 for 2 tonight. And he makes it 2 for 3 on the line drive kick. 28-0 Alexandria-Monroe. We've got a 4-score ball game. The Tigers dominating here on the road as we're going to take a quick break here on IndianaHighSchoolSports.net. Don't go anywhere.
Universal Roofing and Exteriors is a family-owned and operated business, providing care and honest service for over 30 years. Universal has always been a little bit different. Their certified and trained employees don't just provide excellent work at a fair low price. They care about their customers, simply providing great customer service. Quality, honesty, dependability. That's Universal Roofing and Exteriors. Call us today at 317-257-0779.
Looking for training that makes a difference? Then Genesis Sports Performance is for you. Whether you're a grade school, high school, or college athlete, or just looking to get back into shape, Genesis has customized programs providing rapid gains in strength and conditioning, speed and agility. Genesis features a 7,000 square foot facility with state-of-the-art weight room and huge turf surface. Call Genesis at 386-7459 or visit them at genesissportsperformance.com.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Alexandria-Monroe High School, where the Tigers lead the Blackford Bruins by a score of 28-0 after the 4th touchdown of the night was punched home by Braxton Pratt, the running back for the Tigers. We'll take a look now at some of the scores in and around the Muncie area. Right now, Frankton leads Elwood in the second quarter 35-12 as the squib kick is going to be taken at the 35-yard line. Austin Smith was the one who hauled it in that time off the squib, and it gives 3 minutes and 2 seconds back to the Bruins to see if Carson Smith can't get rolling on offense.
He's really just been hurting his team as he's had open guys time and time again. I'm not sure if it's something mechanics-wise or if he's just not finding that release point to get it to his guys. He's had wide open receivers. He's just missing them.
I think the thing is for Smith as well, he's not used to having to throw the ball this much.
No.
It is really hurting this team that Peyton James, number 24, their star running back, is out. They have a lot of guys that they go to run the ball to begin with, but when they do not rely on Smith to throw the ball this much. And it has been a struggle for him tonight as he takes the ball under center. First down, he gives it off to his left. Another stonewall up front. 3 Tigers ran on the tackle on that play. And it was number 42, Jason Keeley, number 64, Austin DeVore, who were in there to share the duty on the tackle. It is going to be 2nd and 11 now. They'll make it a 1-yard loss. And there have been maroon jerseys absolutely tearing through that Blackford offensive line all night. We mentioned it early in the broadcast. A young group, a small group, relatively speaking, especially compared to the defense in front for the Tigers. And the defense for Alexandria-Monroe has looked absolutely stout. Under center again, it is Smith. Smith hands it to his left. And once again, a fantastic read from the defense that time. I believe getting the call that time was Austin Smith for the Bruins, but he ran into the back of one of his tackles, and that was going absolutely nowhere.
That was James Reckett Watson, who just pushed through his guy and wrapped up Hernandez in the backfield through a blocker. And that's really shown you just how dominant the maroon and yellow have been tonight. Well, I guess maybe you can call that burgundy.
Burgundy, maroon, I don't know, but they do make it work. Those gold bands as a timeout is going to be spent here.
Yeah, either way, the burgundy and yellow are leading this game and just really proving to be the better team here in the first half. But the good news for us is that we're going to get a second half. And you know what? We've seen crazier things happen in this sport. Anything can happen.
We have, but a lot is going to need to happen for the Bruins. They're going to have to find some kind of offensive rhythm. They just need to make Alexandria-Monroe respect their passing game right now. They are all over these reads when Blackford tries to run the football. So maybe if Carson Smith can just complete 1 or 2 passes, on the first drive of the second half, maybe they will open up that Alexandria-Monroe defense a little bit for their running backs, their stars, to make something happen on offense. But right now it is 3rd and 11 for Blackford as they retake the field, down by 28. We've got 2 minutes and 10 seconds to play here in this second quarter. Under center again is Smith. Smith, the pitch. He gives it to Soto. Soto out to his right. He tries to bounce away from the tackler, and he's dropped for another big loss. The defense is absolutely eating right now. Number 13, Jay Dillman, in on the tackle that time for the Tigers. He came all the way in from the cornerback position to make that read, and he drops Donovan Soto. It is 4th and 16 now after the 5-yard loss, and goodness gracious, Alexandria-Monroe is just dominating this game right now.
Yeah, they read that play like it was a book, like they knew what was coming, and Dillman just crashed in from his corner position. He stayed home and knew exactly when to attack and wrapped him around the waist and brought him down.
Punt crew on the field once again for Blackford, but it's a bad snap, a bad hold, and he's brought down inside the 5-yard line. Unable to haul it in that time was the punter, number 10, Grant Ridgway. It was a high snap, and it just flew through his hands, and so it's going to be great field position for Alexandria-Monroe. I was going to say they might not have enough time to hammer home another touchdown, but with field position like this and 1:19 to play, Alexandria-Monroe can absolutely put this game to bed here before we even hit halftime, really.
Yeah, especially if you're going to start that close to the goal line and you have those weapons. You and I have been mightily impressed with Braxton Pratt and Carson Cunillo and, of course, Gabe McGuire. And at some point, you may see McGuire come out of the game. They allow the freshman Brady Gast to get some more snaps as you're going to try and help the development. And it looks like there's 12 men on the field.
And so that is going to be a foul against the Tigers.
Yeah, that's a legal substitution. You don't typically see that a whole lot.
No, especially not in high school football, but good for the officials for being on their toes that time, making the right call. So that bit backs up Alexandria-Monroe a little bit. It's still going to be first and goal coming from the 10-yard line rather than the 5 now.
Well, it was Cuneo that came into the game and then realized that there was already a running back out there with Braxton Pratt, and he ran back out onto the sideline, and at that point the flag was already out.
Now under center is McGuire, and he's going to give it to Cuneo right away. Out to his right once more, and he's wrapped up right at the line of scrimmage. A good read that time by Braxton, by the Blackford defense. That was actually Braxton Pratt, not Cuneo, who had the carry that time for the Tigers. Minute left to play here in this second quarter from Alexandria-Monroe High School. From the gun, once again, it is McGuire. He fakes the handoff, rolling out to his left. He's got space, checks it down. The pitch, the catch, and the touchdown. Scampering in that time is number 3, Colin Johns, as he has his first touchdown of the game. One of the best receivers in East Central Indiana. And Alexandria-Monroe is about to go up 35-0 if the extra point is good from Layton. What'd you see on that touchdown, Andrew?
Well, I just saw McGuire roll out to his left and have plenty of options. Either go to your star wide receiver or keep it and go for the pylon. That time he threw right into the chest of Johns, who then turned on the jet speed, and he went for the pylon, and he scored the touchdown.
Perfect patience that time from McGuire at the quarterback position, as Layton is obviously a little upset about that first missed extra point because he has been money since then. 35-0 with 49.4 seconds to play here at Alexandria-Monroe High School in the second quarter. We're going to take one last break probably here in this first half before we join you back here at Alexandria-Monroe High School on IndianaHighSchoolSports.net.
Hi, I'm Steve Hartley, owner and founder of High Gear Marketing, a digital advertising company focusing on data to help businesses improve market share and drive new customers. Are you tired with the lack of accountability from your current vendors? Are you frustrated with your return on investment? Well, my program is different. You actually don't pay unless you sell something. High Gear Marketing takes all the risk. You have zero to lose. If you're interested, text me at 317-523-4100.
Well, the defense and the offense have both looked stout, but it is the versatility that we have seen from Alexandria-Monroe Tigers offense between Gabe McGuire, Carson Cuneo, Braxton Pratt, and Colin Johns, who have all scored touchdowns for the Tigers. They're about to kick the ball away, up 35-0 against the Blackford Bruins here with 49.4 seconds to play. Line drive kick batted down. It's going to be fielded at the 20 by the Bruins. Austin Smith rolls back to his right. He's got some space out to the far side, showing off the speed. He has been a bright spot for the Bruins as he's going to take it inside the 30-yard line. Goodness gracious, if that's how you're going to get back in this game, that could be a huge momentum booster for the Blackford Bruins. And great field position now for the visiting team.
Yeah, Smith
decided he was going to change lanes and go down the near sideline to the far sideline, and all of these burgundy jerseys were closer to us, and Smith, that was probably the best run I've seen from anyone tonight from both sides, and Smith has got some wheels on him.
Absolutely. We've seen some great return action for both sides. Smith returning tonight for the Bruins, and returning kicks is Gabe McGuire for Alexandria-Monroe. But now from right about the 30-yard line, it is Carson Smith and company for Blackford. Under center again. Smith, play action, rolls out to his left, sees the pressure over the middle, and it's just past the fingertips of the receiver. That is number 25 for the Bruins. That's Braxton Mallett. It'll be 2nd and 10 now with 28.4 seconds to play. And I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see a couple of shots from Blackford. They do have one timeout left, I do believe, but they are a little too far out to run the football right now unless they're going to run straight to the sidelines. So they are going to get Smith involved once again, throwing the football.
Well, that was a really good throw. I just think that Braxton Mallett, instead of keeping the arms pumping, he put the arms out early and then slowed himself down, and that's why it was just off the fingertips.
Under center again is Smith. They'll go with a pitch this time. Soto trying to get to the edge. Oh, and he's wrapped up, I believe, inside the field of play, so the clock continues to run with 22 seconds to play. It is going to be 3rd and 9 now as Carson Cuneo, who you've heard his name called a lot on the offensive side of the ball, brings down Soto with about 8 seconds to play, and the clock continues to run. So after the great field position for the Bruins, some poor clock management at the end is going to take us to halftime. 35-0. The Tigers dominate in absolutely every single way at home, and they are putting on a show for these fans on homecoming. Once again, 35-0. My name is Sam Niger. It has been a pleasure to do the play-by-play action for you tonight. Here in the first half, my partner Andrew Mild is going to take over with the play-by-play duty in the second half. But don't go anywhere here at halftime. We've got a longer halftime tonight. But Pat Strong, former IHSAA official, is going to join us in the booth for an interview. Until then, we will see you back here in just a minute on IndianaHighSchoolSports.net.
Every day is a great day to buy a vehicle at Gray Hubler Ford.
Because every vehicle comes with our Greg Hubler promise. On top of scheduled maintenance with your vehicle, you'll also enjoy complimentary roadside assistance, service pickup, and drop-off. And a free car wash and quick wash every time you service at Greg Hubler Ford.
We're always finding new ways to put our guests first.
Mosey on into Muncie.
Gray Hubler Ford, promise kept.
Universal Roofing and Exteriors is a family-owned and operated business, providing care and honest service for over 30 years. Universal has always been a little bit different. Their certified and trained employees don't just provide excellent work at a fair low price. They care about their customers, simply providing great customer service. Quality, honesty, dependability. That's Universal Roofing and Exteriors. Call us today at 317-257-0779.
Looking for training that makes a difference? Then Genesis Sports Performance is for you. Whether you're a grade school, high school, or college athlete, or just looking to get back into shape, Genesis has customized programs providing rapid gains in strength and conditioning, speed and agility. Genesis features a 7,000 square foot facility with state-of-the-art weight room and huge turf surface. Call Genesis at 386-7459. or visit them at GenesisSportsPerformance.com. Hi, I'm Steve Hartley, owner and founder of High Gear Marketing, a digital advertising company focusing on data to help businesses improve market share and drive new customers. Are you tired with the lack of accountability from your current vendors? Are you frustrated with your return on investment? Well, my program is different. You actually don't pay unless you sell something. High Gear Marketing takes all the risk. You have zero to lose. If you're interested, text me at 317-523-4100.
And welcome back to Alexandria-Monroe High School, ladies and gentlemen. Sam Niger up here in the booth with you, joined by legendary IHSA official Pat Strong. Pat, thanks for joining us tonight.
You're very welcome.
So, Pat, you're a former official now, and you are now an observer for the IHSAA. Could you kind of explain to us what that entails here at Alexandria-Monroe High School?
Yeah, let me kind of give you a little background on what's going on here. Is that for 41 years I was actually out down there instead of up here, and when I couldn't do that anymore due to a lot of different things, but a lot of it has to do with the injuries I had 3 operations and so on. I'm not going to get into all that, but and then that developed to where I can't run anymore. So what I wanted to do is give back, and so Robert Falcon's my boss and the one that's the leader of this whole thing, which has done a great job at doing what he needs to do for the kids of the state of Indiana for football. That we want to help officials get better and understand what it takes to get better so the game becomes better. So if the game's better and the officials are better, then the whole thing's better.
Yeah.
And that's the whole goal of what we're trying to do. It's not about being negative, it's about being positive and let these guys know that the things that they're doing are valuable for every night that they come out here. And what my job is to go and look at some of the things that they need to correct and they need to improve on, so they can become the official that they want to be. And we do that in a way so that they come out of those meetings because we're so you want to be positive at the beginning, and then create the several things that, or maybe it's only a few things that they need to work on that, but they already have a foundation already set. That's how it works. And for us, we go every week somewhere different. Like last week I was at Delphi. The week before that I was at Triton Central. The next week I'm at North Decatur. So it's all over the state, trying to help different people resolve and get to the accolades of being the official that you want to be. And all of us have goals. I had goals when I started doing this, and I was fortunate enough to do the state finals of both football and basketball. So that was an achievement that, with my teammates that I had, we made it to those points, and now I can share that information to and the experience level that I have to all the other officials that I am observing to help them get to that goal. And it for my old partner and me, we used to take on young officials and help them groom them so they could get to where we were. And that's what it's all about. It's reaching out. It's not about me. It's not about what I've done. It's about what I can do to help other people get to the same spot.
Absolutely. A very noble cause for Pat Strong. Pat, you touched on this. You were an official for both basketball and football. Now I gotta ask, did you have a preference, or did you just love being out there on the court?
I played college football a long time ago, my friend. A long time ago, and if it really was, probably football, even though basketball is still part of it, part of what my pedigree is all about. But I grew up playing the game. I love the game. The hardest thing for me, to be honest with you, is when I stepped off the field, realizing that I couldn't do it anymore, and I was hurting the kids. As soon as I realized that I was hurting the kids, I had to stop, because there's no point of holding on to something because you can't do it anymore. And I couldn't do it anymore, so I realized that. Then you re-energize your thinking of what can you do to still have the same enthusiasm, still have the same thing that you want to do, and helping other people. What can I do to do that? And fortunately for me, Robert Falkins came to me and asked me if I wanted to do it, and I said absolutely. I said, it's the greatest thing in the world, just like you guys broadcast it. It's great for me to go out and watch these guys work, and then I can go in and I can help them. If I can help them, as I said before, that's all that matters. That's all I want to do, is I want to help. I want them to have the same opportunities that I did. And if I can tell them some of the experience levels that I've had, it might help them down the road. If it does, then more power to me. But it's not about having accolades for me. It's about them getting what they're trying to reach, and that's the most prideful thing that I can tell you. Because when I see some people that we've helped over the years, it makes us more proud than anything than the state finals that I did or anything else. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Absolutely.
So, but that kind of gives you the background of what's going on here. So.
Yeah, that's phenomenal. A very interesting perspective, especially from a former official. Pat, in all your years of officiating, I have to ask, do you have a specific game that sticks out to you in all your tenure that was really just one of the most exciting to be a part of?
One of the most exciting games I ever had. I don't know if you might be a little young and it's not anything with that, but Damon Bailey was playing Pat Graham out of Floyd Central back in the day. That particular game was sold out all the time because Damon was an icon. And so when those two played each other, it was like a war. And I had that game twice. And that was one of the all-time greatest events that I've ever been to. But if you really want to think about it, when Mike Conley and Greg Oden were seniors, they had the television game on ESPN, which I was fortunate enough to be on that too. And so with my two partners, and that's a basketball thing. As for football, the state finals by far, both times we were there, that was the greatest thing I've ever had. I did have one football game, probably I would say probably in the 2000s, early 2000s at Warren Central, when they were pretty dominant at the time. They played a team out of Cleveland, Ohio. I can't remember the name of it, to be honest with you, but the team was like ranked number 2 in the country, and Warren Central at the time was ranked number 4.
Perhaps St. Ignatius? Does that sound familiar out of Cleveland?
No, it was the coach's son was in the NFL for a long time, and I can't think of his name. The wide receiver is really good. That was another thing that there's just nothing like it. When you go out, you know what you can do. You control the game. You let the kids play. You let the fans see what they want to see, and you call what you need to call. Then it all becomes a fond memory, and that's what it is for me. Is that I just wish everybody could have an opportunity like that at one point. I had Mickey Hosier back in the day, the AD here back in the day when he was playing, and we got along really good, and I saw a lot of great games out of him. So football and basketball was kind of weighed together, so that you have equal balance there, if you want to call it that. But football, because I played it, and I love the game, and this really was a blessing for me. I'll give you a little insight on something here. Is that after I came off the field, it was only 6 months before I had my first game as an observer. To be honest with you, I couldn't stay up here during pregame because it hurt so bad, and it's all because of the amount of effort and all the years I put into it, and now it's gone. So you have to learn how to rejuvenate yourself in a different way to help in the same way. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
And so by doing that, I got over that, and now I get excited everywhere I go, no matter where it is, no matter what kind of game it is. It doesn't matter. It's fun to be able to relay that to other people. And my old partner and I talk about our things that we did, and everything that always comes up, as I told you before, every single time, is the amount of people that we help get to another level. That's the most important thing there is to me. I could care less about individual accolades or anything like that. I don't really. It doesn't really. I don't really care. It's just an exciting thing to see if you've got people out there that can do what we do, in the sense of caring and understanding and trying to help people, and that's what I want to do. There's a lot of people like that out in this world, like in Guacue from the Colts is out there helping teachers, buying their supplies and doing all that. That's I do it in a different way, but it's the same thing. And there's just nothing like it, Sam. It's just it's the most satisfying thing I've ever had in my entire life. Even though I've done the finals twice, that was fun, don't get me wrong. But now seeing other guys get there and seeing the smiles on their faces and all the hard work and all the things that they did and they applied to some of the stuff that we did, and it just makes you feel really good that you're that good, that you're that good of a teacher and a mentor that you can help other people. It's kind of like in your business, being broadcasters, you got icons and mentors. If you had a opportunity, you like to be sitting here against Mike Greenberg or somebody like that. You'd be going the same way that I do when I get everybody's got mentors. I had a mentor. Everybody does. You listen to what they have to say and do the things that you need to do in order to get better. It's the bottom line.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Pat. It's been an honor talking to you. Great to hear you talk about the game, and thank you for sharing your story, opening up to us about what you're doing. Pat Strong, ladies and gentlemen, former IHSA official.
My pleasure.
Thank you very much. And we are going to take a quick break here. It's a long halftime tonight at Alexandria-Monroe because of homecoming. So about 7 minutes and 45 seconds till we get rolling with more football. Until then, my name is Sam Niger. Andrew Mild will be joining us with some play-by-play in the second half. And we will be right back here on IndianaHighSchoolSports.net. Don't go anywhere.
Every day is a great day to buy a vehicle at Greg Hubler Ford.
Because every vehicle comes with our Greg Hubler promise. On top of scheduled maintenance with your vehicle, you'll also enjoy complimentary roadside assistance, service pickup, and drop-off. And a free car wash and quick wash every time you service at Greg Hubler Ford.
We're always finding new ways to put our guests first.
Mosey on into Muncie.
Greg Hubler Ford, promise kept.
Universal Roofing and Exteriors is a family-owned and operated business, providing care and honest service for over 30 years. Universal has always been a little bit different. Their certified and trained employees don't just provide excellent work at a fair low price. They care about their customers, simply providing great customer service. Quality, honesty, dependability. That's Universal Roofing and Exteriors. Call us today at 317-257-0779.
Looking for training that makes a difference? Then Genesis Sports Performance is for you. Whether you're a grade school, high school, or college athlete, or just looking to get back into shape, Genesis has customized programs providing rapid gains in strength and conditioning, speed and agility. Genesis features a 7,000 square foot facility with state-of-the-art weight room and huge turf surface. Call Genesis at 386-7459 or visit them at genesissportsperformance.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Hartley, owner and founder of High Gear Marketing, a digital advertising company focusing on data to help businesses improve market share and drive new customers. Are you tired with the lack of accountability from your current vendors? Are you frustrated with your return on investment? Well, my program is different. You actually don't pay unless you sell something. High Gear Marketing takes all the risk. You have zero to lose. If you're interested, text me at 317-523-4100.
And we are back from Alexandria-Monroe, and a big thank you to Pat Strong for having a nice lengthy conversation with Sam and really cut that halftime show pretty quickly. I mean, we're only 5 minutes away from the second half, but Sam, I want to talk about how that first half went, and I don't think there's an easier way of describing it. It was all Alexandria.
Oh, absolutely. Of course, first I do want to say a big thank you to Pat. That was great listening to him talk. Such a unique perspective to hear from a former official and a guy with so much tenure, but as you said, Andrew, I mean, you're completely right. Alexandria-Monroe couldn't have drawn it up any better. They dominated that game from start to finish on both sides of the ball. They had the blocked punt on special teams. I mean, they had the recovery off the punt on special teams. They have literally dominated nearly every single play.
Yeah, to really set the tone of the game was the Alexandria-Monroe defense, as they had 2 tackles in the backfield. They forced a holding penalty, so it was a 3-and-out essentially on Blackford, who then had the punt, and before they could punt, it got blocked. The drive started on the 17-yard line inside the red zone. Gabe McGuire takes it promptly and puts it into the end zone, and it was 7-0 before we even blinked an eye.
I mean, it was some of the best, most dominant 5 minutes of football that you could have possibly asked for. I mean, you can see it on paper. Gabe McGuire is a guy that you need to watch, but when you come here, when you come to Alexandria-Monroe, you see this team play in person. Gabe McGuire has what it takes to play at the college level. I think that's without a doubt. He does everything. We saw him line up in the slot. We saw him carry the football. He prancing in all over the field. He returns kicks. He's the punter on the team. I mean, you just can't argue with this kid and what he's able to do. A tremendous talent that the Tigers have utilized perfectly tonight.
And you had to put it out there that he does punt, but he did not have to punt in that first half. So that's a good news for the Tigers that they have no punting stats for Gabe McGuire through the first half, as they have a 35-0 lead with 3 minutes to go before we hit the second half. And for the Blackford Bruins, of course, when you're down 35-0, it's not an ideal start. I don't know if there's an easier way of putting that for Blackford. But the question I have to ask for you, Sam, is what do they need to adjust going into the second half? Even if they don't end up winning the ball game, what can they take as a moral victory before their game next weekend?
Whew, that's a loaded question. In terms of what they need to adjust, I mean, really a little bit of everything. There's a lot to shore up through that first half. But in terms of what they can take as a moral victory, look, we mentioned this earlier in the first half. Austin Smith has been a bright spot for this team, but he also got a little chippy after a couple of plays. Nothing too terrible, but we've noticed the fire in this Bruins team despite the fact that they are down 35-0, and I wouldn't be surprised if we don't continue to see a fire from the Bruins in this second half. They give up 43.5 points per game. They're well on their way to either beating or tying that average. But as for Blackford, I think the defense played a little better than the offense that half. I mean, they did let Gabe McGuire tear them up, but the the defensive front of Mallet especially and Caleb Patrick from the linebacker core, they're making good reads. They have had some good plays. So I think it just needs to be more consistent for the Bruins. And, of course, you're going to want to score. You're going to want to find the end zone in the second half as well.
Speaking of the Blackford Bruins, as you see on camera, they have re-entered the stadium for the second half, and we're getting close to 90 seconds. But before we do go into the second half, let's look at scores from around East Central Indiana. Madison Grant, who will be playing Blackford next week, is up 21-0 on the Indians. Lapel Bulldogs and Shenandoah Raiders are knotted up at 6 going into the third quarter. The Anderson Indians are beating up the Richmond Red Devils 21-0, and that's the same score for the Pendleton Heights Arabians and the Newcastle Trojans. That is in favor of the Arabians. 70-12 at halftime. Frankton leading Elwood.
My goodness, we saw that Frankton team last week, and their offense was struggling tremendously. It's good to see them rolling, but wow. I don't think I expected a 70-12 halftime score. We both did mention that we do like that Frankton Eagles team, and it is good to see them find the end zone as much as they have tonight.
And we thought we had it bad with a 5-touchdown lead. Frankton scored 10 touchdowns in the first half against Elwood, as Elwood went into that game already allowing 125 points through the first two games. Their average is going to go up significantly. They are outside the door of allowing 200 points. And Elwood will be playing next week, I believe, against Alexandria-Monroe. They'll be having them next. Other scores, North Decatur up a lot on Monroe Central, 29-0. And McCutcheon leading Muncie Central 16-6 in the second quarter. And Eastern Hancock and Westdale are knotted up at 0. There's no score there. And the same for New Palestine and Yorktown. And now the leading team and the homecoming team, Alexandria-Monroe, will start their calisthenics as they bump the clock to 2 minutes before we hit the end of halftime. And as they're taking a stretch, we're going to take a break before the second half, as your score here in halftime is the homecoming Tigers 35 and the Blackford Bruins 0.
Every day is a great day to buy a vehicle at Greg Hubler Ford.
Because every vehicle comes with our Greg Hubler promise. On top of scheduled maintenance with your vehicle, you'll also enjoy complimentary roadside assistance, service pickup, and drop-off. And a free car wash and quick wash every time you service at Greg Hubler Ford.
We're always finding new ways to put our guests first.
Mosey on into Muncie.
Greg Hubler Ford, promise kept.
Universal Roofing and Exteriors is a family-owned and operated business, providing care and honest service for over 30 years. Universal has always been a little bit different. Their certified and trained employees don't just provide excellent work at a fair low price. They care about their customers, simply providing great customer service. Quality, honesty, dependability. That's Universal Roofing and Exteriors. Call us today at 317-257-0779.
Looking for training that makes a difference? Then Genesis Sports Performance is for you. Whether you're a grade school, high school, or college athlete, or just looking to get back into shape, Genesis has customized programs providing rapid gains in strength and conditioning, speed and agility. Genesis features a 7,000 square foot facility with state-of-the-art weight room and huge turf surface. Call Genesis at 386-7459 or visit them at genesissportsperformance.com.
Hey, what did you guys say the Frankton game was?
It's back at 35-0, and again, the Frankton score was 70-12 as they scored 42 points in the second quarter. Halftime about to end here at Alexandria, and here's a cool little fact. The homecoming king for the Tigers was a football player. It was big number 76, Connor Etchison, the 6'4", 316-pound senior, was elected by his classmates to be the representative of King for homecoming. That's actually going to be tomorrow for Alexandria-Monroe. So congratulations to Connor Etchison, as Connor Etchison will not be starting on the field as the Blackford Bruins will be kicking off to start the second half, as Alexandria-Monroe had won the coin toss and elected to defer it to the second half. And you're up 35-0. You're going to get the ball first. They may just put the nail in the coffin as we start this third quarter. We'll see how it goes, and let's see if Blackford made the proper adjustments. Here comes the boot. It's an onside kick to the left. It takes a high spin. It's rolling close to out of bounds. It's fielded by number 12, Braxton Pratt. Pratt moves it up to the 35-yard line, maybe just beyond that. And that's where the drive will start for the mightily impressive Alexandria-Monroe Tigers offense, who scored 35 points. Gabe McGuire had a rushing touchdown, 2 passing touchdowns, and then a couple more rushing touchdowns from Carson Cunillo and Braxton Pratt.
It has been an all-around effort tonight on offense from just about every player on the field for Alexandria-Monroe. It was a solid first half. We'll see if they can't continue that into the second.
And Brady Gast, the freshman quarterback, will take the field to start this second half as they spread out this offense with 2 receivers to the near sideline, 1 to the far sideline. John's going in motion to the left. They're going to fake it to Johns and give it to Cunillo. Cunillo cuts to his left. He sheds off a tackler. He cuts it to the outside. Another missed tackle. He's got the first down and some more. Carson Cunillo. They can't bring him down. That's a first down, and on the first play, they're already on the side of the Bruins as he kept the butter churning and danced it all the way up to the 44-yard line.
Absolutely. That was a great run to start from Cunillo. We expected a bit of a run that time from Cunillo with the backup quarterback in, but apparently Blackford was not ready for it, and Cunillo moves the sticks.
That was 21 yards by Carson Cunillo. Gast out of the gun. He's going to throw. Looks to his left, drops it off to Cunillo again. Cunillo barrels his way forward, and a good chunk play. Just swing it out to your running back and get 7 yards, and it'll be second and manageable for the Tigers. And they just have a lot of good weapons. That's what's allowed them to stay unpredictable for the Bruins defense.
First completion of the game, too, for Gast. Good to see him get rolling here early in this third quarter.
Give him McGuire a break. You see him still pacing over here. He just can't stand not being in the ball game. Johns from the slot will go in motion. They fake it to Johns, and they give it to Pratt. Pratt trying to hit the corner, and he somehow got away, and then he gets wrangled up back at the line of scrimmage. We'll say he got maybe an inch or two, and third and short coming up for Alexandria-Monroe.
Well, after the big run by Cunillo, it's been a pretty solid drive for the Bruins, at least on this set of downs, just trying to hold Alexandria-Monroe to as few yards as possible, keep them out of field goal range when they've got a good kicker, Corey Layton, kicking the extra points and field goals.
Brady Gast, the son of head coach Pete Gast, is getting to play this drive. Let's see if they go to a pass here. They are. The play fake goes, and he gets wide open. Johns, who got away from his defender. He's got the corner. He's spinning around out of trouble, and what a play. And what a read by Gass to realize that Johns was open in the slot. Looked like it was a 10 and out. He hit him on the move, and Johns hit the accelerator and racked up the YAC yards after catch.
We don't always see a whole lot of pitching and catching here in East Central Indiana in terms of throwing the football, but Colin Johns has been spectacular from the slot all night. He has made himself one of the premier players to watch for Alexandria-Monroe.
Gass came in with a very good 81 completion percentage, which is best in the Central Indiana Conference. He's now under center. There's the exchange. They're going to throw again. He fires over the middle of the field. He's a man open in the back of the end zone, and he just steps out. They ran out of real estate. They were trying to sneak it into the back of the end zone for Abram May. But Abram May jumped up, couldn't do some of that toe drag swag, and it'll turn into a 2nd and 10. But what a throw by Gass. Just there's not enough real estate behind it.
Gass looks really comfortable for a freshman right now. He has looked spectacular on this drive. And again, actually I think we've seen the best balance on offense for the Tigers that we've seen all night tonight, throwing and running the football.
They've had a balanced offense. That's something you and I talked about in the pregame show, trying to run the ball and throw the ball successfully. They're going to do it to a shovel pass forward. That's to Fuller, and Mason Fuller looks like he picked up the first down. Let's see if they move those chains, and they are. Mason Fuller coming in from the slot gets the forward pass, so Gast is going to get a completion and the yards because of that. And that was completed to the freshman, Mason Fuller.
Well, we're going to start to see a lot more of freshmen and guys that don't necessarily get as many looks for the Tigers because of that 35-0 deficit.
They need one more yard to make this a 41-point game. Gast goes under the center. This might be a QB sneak. He goes up the middle. A good push by the O-line. Did he get in? And he's just short. He might be just inside the one. But look at that push from the O-line. Really won the battle of the trenches. A lot of open space for Gast, the freshman.
My goodness, between DeRuza and Gross, Gast almost went in completely untouched. Blackford did a good job to at least deliver some kind of a lick there right at the goal line.
They're going to put Gast under the center again with Eli DeRuza. DeRuza gives it to the quarterback, who gives it to Canillo. Canillo will walk right on in there. Touchdown, Tigers. They're up 41-0 with a running clock as it's still going, as we are already halfway through the third quarter. Even on the incomplete pass, the clock still runs, as after you get to a certain point, you just got to keep that clock moving.
Well, Carson Cuneo, he started the drive off spectacular, finishes it off spectacular as well. Waltzes into the end zone completely untouched, and that's another spectacular drive for Alexandria-Monroe.
Here's Corey Layton's extra point attempt, and it will split the uprights. It is a 42-0 game from Alexandria-Monroe here on homecoming night under Friday Night Lights. We're going to take a quick break as you're watching high school football on the Indiana High School Sports Net.
Hi, I'm Steve Hartley, owner and founder of High Gear Marketing, a digital advertising company focusing on data to help businesses improve market share and drive new customers. Are you tired with the lack of accountability from your current vendors? Are you frustrated with your return on investment? Well, my program is different. You actually don't pay unless you sell something. High Gear Marketing takes all the risk. You have zero to lose. If you're interested, text me at 317-523-4100.
Every day is a great day to buy a vehicle at Greg Hubler Ford.
Because every vehicle comes with our Greg Hubler promise. On top of scheduled maintenance with your vehicle, you'll also enjoy complimentary roadside assistance, service pickup, and drop-off. And a free car wash at Quick Wash.
Welcome back into the booth. Andrew Mile and Sam Niger. And it is 42-0 Tigers in front of the Bruins. And going into this game, you had to think it was going to be a result just like this. You just didn't expect it. Here comes the kick from John Amon, the freshman, and he boots one deep. That's the first time he's really gone deep, and it's going to be picked up by Austin Smith, and Smith is trying to get away from trouble, but there's nothing but burgundy jerseys there. A herd of Tigers bring him down inside the 5-yard line. Just nightmare situation after nightmare situation for the Bruins of Blackford.
Well, I'll tell you what, Austin Smith was staring that football down, hoping and praying it would go into the end zone for a touchback. But, man, that could not have gone much worse for the Bruins on the kickoff return.
I mean, do you blame him? By that point, you knew the coverage was going to be broken up, and you couldn't just take the ball and then kneel it in the back of the end zone. But he moved it up, I want to say, 4 yards. It looked like the ball nestled its way onto the 1-yard line. And here we go. I'm starting to think there's going to be some substitutions, so bear with us. We're going to try and pick up some new players that are now heading its way onto the field. I already see one in Siler Hartwell to run up to the near sideline, and he's brought down immediately as it was a handoff to try and see who that was. It was Carson Cuneo on the tackle, the weak side linebacker. And they gave it to Gage Dow. Dow got the carry, and he went 1 yard. And not only am I impressed with the defensive line of the Tigers, but also impressed with the linebacker play between Cuneo and Jason Keeley. Even Braxton Pratt has made some good plays.
They have just a big defense, very athletic, and they have been the dominating factor tonight.
They're just going to go up the gut there and there was just a bunch of Tigers in the vicinity, and they bring him down for another short gain. We'll say he got maybe one more yard, as that time they fed Braxton Mallett, and 2 plays and just 2 yards, as there's just nothing right there in the trenches for them. They keep getting bottlenecked when they try to go there.
That's been the story of tonight's game, is that Alexandria-Monroe has dominated the trenches on both sides of the ball. Football is won and lost in the trenches often, and Alexandria-Monroe is winning tonight.
This is a passing down, 3rd and 8 yards is the go, and it's another handoff, but this time they try to go to the outside to the far sideline, another maybe yard or 2, and 4th down coming up, and here comes the punting unit. This did not seem like Blackford was very enthusiastic on that drive. It looks like they might be mailing it in for the rest of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. They've already got the running clock on them. This has been a ridiculously fast third quarter because of that running clock. But still, that fire we talked about from Blackford has just not been there here in this third quarter.
It's not McGuire back there to field this punt. I'm thinking that McGuire's going to be out for the rest of this game, just to give him some rest. It's a short punt, a little bit wobbly, and there's a flag immediately thrown as it goes out inside the 30-yard line, closer to the 25. That was a very short punt, maybe 23, 24 yards. They're going to keep that clock going, and this is not good for the reel for me here on the play-by-play, but maybe we'll get a big play.
Yeah, absolutely. Alexandria-Monroe says thank you very much after that punt. If it stands, we're still awaiting the call from the officials to see where they'll spot this.
Yeah, as they're discussing this, this clock is underneath 2 minutes. Holding on Alexandria-Monroe, and trying to see exactly where they spot that ball. It's hard to see. There's so many Alexandria-Monroe bodies right next to the ball on the near sideline. 100 seconds to go in the third quarter, 42-0 in favor of the Tigers on the Bruins, and it looks as though the Tigers, unless barring the greatest comeback in the history of football, are going to go 2-1 through the first 3 weeks, get their first conference win. Blackford on the other end are going to go 0-3, 0-1 in conference play, and Alexandria-Monroe is then going to be playing Elwood next week on the road. They're down 70-12 at halftime right now. So back-to-back weeks, the Tigers might be able to give their star players some rest before that conference play really starts to ramp up towards the middle of the season.
Absolutely. After that opening loss on week 1 for Alexandria-Monroe, they have been one of the more talented teams here in East Central Indiana. They have been absolutely dominant tonight. And look, I get it. Blackford is beat up. They haven't played their best football tonight. They haven't played their best football really this season. But Alexandria-Monroe taking advantage of it. And when you've got a quarterback like Gabe McGuire and you've at the helm and you have all these weapons for him to utilize on offense, you have a giant defense that really knows how to play team defense, number 1, and they just deliver big hits, number 2. I mean, it's a winning recipe for football, especially at the high school level.
Well, 25 seconds, if you can believe it, after all that deliberation and moving the ball where it needed to go, and finally going to get some football action. Not too many breaks for us in the third quarter. It felt like that was just a long one. Gas still into the game. Going to just hand it off. And they're going to go down the right sideline and pick up the first down as they just feed number 44. That's A.J. Granger. And that's the end of the third quarter as the Tigers got the first down and will start the fourth quarter on the Bruins 25-yard line. If you're watching high school football on the Indiana High School Sports.net.
Every day is a great day to buy a vehicle at Greg Hubler Ford.
Because every vehicle comes with our Greg Hubler promise. On top of scheduled maintenance with your vehicle, you'll also enjoy complimentary roadside assistance, service pickup, and drop-off. And a free car wash and quick wash every time you service at Greg Hubler Ford.
We're always finding new ways to put our guests first.
Mosey on into Muncie.
Greg Hubler Ford, promise kept.
Universal Roofing and Exteriors is a family-owned and operated business, providing care and honest service for over 30 years. Universal has always been a little bit different. Their certified and trained employees don't just provide excellent work at a fair low price. They care about their customers, simply providing great customer service. Quality, honesty, dependability. That's Universal Roofing and Exteriors. Call us today at 317-257-0779.
A group of freshmen are starting to make their way onto the field. John Amon, a wide receiver, is out there. He's been doing the kickoffs. And then Brady Gass, the quarterback, and then A.J. Granger, who got his first carry and got the first down, gained 12 in his first carry of the season. And they're going to get back to Granger. A pitch to the left. Granger trying to find the corner, and he is tripped up by Daniel Ludwig, the defensive end, that shed off his blocker and found Granger in the backfield and dropped him for 5 yards. Wow. Might be the largest loss by the Tigers in this ballgame.
Yeah, that was a rare occurrence for the Tigers tonight. I think it was just a little miscommunication about where Granger was supposed to be to receive that pitch in the backfield. But, hey, it gives these freshmen something to work on, and it's good to see them get reps here tonight.
It's really seen the future of Tigers football. And they still have a lot of their star players are juniors, especially Gabe McGuire, you won't see for the rest of the game. High snap, and somehow dropped it into the breadbasket of the wide receiver that came from the slot. As a high snap, he hit it one-handed, almost like he was just setting it over in volleyball style, and they completed a pass, but they lost 4 yards.
I don't know that I've ever seen anything like that. It was certainly entertaining to watch, but not so entertaining for the Tigers coaches on the sidelines as they see another loss of yardage here. It's going to bring up third down.
Yeah, Mason Fuller will be credited with the reception. He probably wished he wasn't as he lost the 4 yards. Third and a semi-truck to go. They're behind the sticks and then some. Third and 19 from their own 30, from the Blackford 34. Another high snap. Gass rolling out. He gets rid of it, and it's out of the hands of Will Rowland, another freshman. As, again, it looks like just more of a freshman team out there for the Alexandria-Monroe Tigers, not because of how that drive went, but because they are literally freshmen.
Yeah, Gass got popped there in the backfield that time by the Blackford team, maybe trying to take a little bit of the revenge out on the freshmen. But, hey, good for Alexandria-Monroe for giving these guys a shot. I mean, they're up by 42 here with 10 minutes to play, and looks like they're going to go for it here on fourth down. Why not?
Why not? 42-0, fourth quarter. Let it eat. They go out of the pistol formation and delay a game. So let's make that 4th and 19, 4th and 24. Do you think they practice any 4th and 24 plays in practice?
No, there's not a whole lot in the playbook for a 4th and 24.
No, I don't think so.
But Alexandria-Monroe is really just looking for a solid chunk play here. Try and get these freshmen rolling, get them comfortable in a varsity setting.
Yeah, the thing that most of these guys, this is their first varsity opportunity. Gass looking, he gets it to a screen play. Granger catches it, and he's pushed out of bounds. And I don't think they got the first down.
No, I think they were just a little bit short that time. But look, good for Gass to get the football out that time. He's looked pretty good from the pocket, has gassed for a freshman. I mean, we know he's seen a little more action than some of the other freshmen on the field for Alexandria-Monroe, but he's looked solid tonight, and he's looked calm, especially in high-pressure situations like he just faced. But nonetheless, it is going to be Blackford football.
They needed a semi-truck. They got a thumbtack. Turnover on downs. Bruins pick it up, and their drive will start on the 37. Let's see if they can march 63 yards and get their first touchdown of the game and walk away with something on offense, a morale victory, as Carson Smith is under the center. They hand it off to the right and working his way forward and getting a first down. And it looked like that.
I believe that was Gage Dow, number 20, once again, who got the carry that time.
Gage Dow with the first down. It was Gage Dow as you just lower the head, and it makes it a 15-yard gain, and you can move those chains for the Bruins.
Well, we talked about moral victories a couple of times tonight in this second half. I mean, that's one for Gage Dow right there, but there's not going to be a whole lot that Blackford is going to be happy with at the end of tonight. But Gage Dow, for just a sophomore, I mean, he's playing some pretty good football running for Blackford.
Play clock at 5. Blackford rushing up to the line. 2-1, and they're going to get them a timeout. They just got away a timeout. Was Randy Seahigh, the 7th season as a head coach of the Bruins. His first timeout of the second half. We're going to take a break. 42-0 for the Tigers.
Hi, I'm Steve Hartley, owner and founder of High Gear Marketing, a digital advertising company focusing on data to help businesses improve market share and drive new customers. Are you tired with the lack of accountability from your current vendors? Are you frustrated with your return on investment? Well, my program is different. You actually don't pay unless you sell something. High Gear Marketing takes all the risk. You have zero to lose. If you're interested, text me at 317-523-4100.
Every day is a great day to buy a vehicle at Greg Hubler Ford.
Because every vehicle comes with our Greg Hubler promise. On top of scheduled maintenance with your vehicle, you'll also enjoy complimentary roadside assistance, service pickup, and drop-off. And a free car wash and quick wash every time you service at Greg Hubler.
We are back out of the timeout burned by the Bruins as they go back into their split back formation. 2 running backs in the backfield and a split end, a handoff, and a good about 4 or 5 yards on the give to number 10. That's Grant Ridgway, the sophomore that's listed at 5'11", 165. That's his first carry of the game. As you do these spot charts before the game, you do some research on the players, and then you get a 42-0 game. Then you have to really make sure that not only do you have your spot chart in front of you, you also have the roster in front of you, as we've seen a mass substitution. Now even the new quarterback is Morgan Randall. He's in for Smith. Randall will get the snap, fake it. He's going to keep it. He's under pressure, works his way to the left as he just Houdini'd his way from the first tackler, and he will get sacked. What a good rush by the Tigers to stay with it, and then we'll wrap up Morgan Randall on his first snap from under center.
Yeah, that's not exactly how Randall wanted to start off his night, but
no.
I am a little surprised that Blackford went to the benches here. I know they're down by a lot, but they have had so little success on offense. You would think they would want to rep things out against another team, at least for the varsity guys. Maybe try and get something rolling, get something for film later this week, but you never know.
Randall gets the snap. He gives it, and met immediately in the backfield is Grant Ridgway, as what a good push by, I appear to be maybe number 84 of Alexandria-Monroe. That's Tristan Carroll, a sophomore, 5'11", 151. 4th and 12. And we're stopping, and they're going to go for a punt.
Just looked like a little communication with the punter there, or with the long snapper there, excuse me.
A lot of Tigers lined up on the line of scrimmage looking to put the pressure on. Here they come, and they just get the punt away. It's a wobbly one. That's a very nice hop for the Bruins, and it's fielded by the 10-yard line. And going to his left, he breaks a tackle, tries to find the seam, and he is brought down by the Bruins, bringing that one back for Alexandria-Monroe was Owen Cook. But there was a penalty marker on the other side of the field, and I was hearing from the grapevines to my left that it was a block in the back. They're experienced referees to our left. I'm hoping they know what they're talking about. Even though I bet some people throughout the years never thought they knew what they were doing. The clock is still rolling, of course, in a 42-0 shellacking of the Bruins of Blackford. But the Tigers of Alexandria will go back-to-back weeks where they have blown out their opponent. They won 35-6 last week against Wabash, and now that means they'll be outscoring their opponents 77-6 in the last 2 weeks. The only loss was to the Eastern Hancock Royals. And if you think this score is a little lopsided, Frankton's up 77-12 on Elwood, and they're in the third quarter.
Yeah, that second half is going to go by real quick. You think our second half went by quickly with the running clock? That Elwood is definitely going to want to get out of Frankton.
Give to Granger. Granger found a gap, and he'll gain and pick up 3 to 4 yards just inside the 20-yard line. 2nd and 5, and you got to just think that Alexandria-Monroe is just going to keep handing this ball off and trying to work their way down the field, and also letting that clock run and start celebrating with their home crowd and the cheerleaders.
Yeah, it is homecoming night, and it has been a great night if you are an Alexandria-Monroe Tiger.
We saw Isaac Scott and some of the linemen. There's some dancing going on and trying to pump up the crowd. There's some football action. Give to, that was Will Rowland, and Rowland will gain a couple. 3rd down coming up for Monroe with 3 minutes to go.
I think there is still a little bit to be gained here if you're Alexandria-Monroe. I mean, you've got your freshmen on the field just trying to get some chunk plays, get a little film on your freshmen, get them some in-game experience. But right now, it is just about the celebration here at Alexandria-Monroe.
Yeah, you're more or less just keep looking up to the clock, and you're just waiting for 3 zeros to tick and the game be over. Gass with a designed QB keep, but he had nowhere to go as the Blackford Bruins swarmed the backfield and brought him down. And the man that will get the tackle for a loss is Tyler Jordan.
Gass trying to channel his inner Gabe McGuire that time, running the football. Wasn't as successful, though, as McGuire.
I don't think you can teach what Gabe McGuire can do.
Yeah, an impressive stat line despite just playing one half of football for number 7 of Alexandria-Monroe.
4th down, and the yards to go is 4. If they get this first down, this game is essentially over. As they will go in the victory formation, high snap, Gass throws, and he completes it for a first down and a couple more, and this game is going to be over. John Amon with the reception, move the chains, and get ready for victory formation. The Tigers are moving to 2-1.
Just a great performance tonight from Alexandria-Monroe. We said it at halftime. I'll say it again right now. Just dominant on every side of the football. You really can't draw it up any better than this if you're Alexandria-Monroe.
They're going to stay in the gun. Maybe just run a couple more and see if you can get your freshmen some padded stats. A pitch to the right. It's given to Clayton Martin. Martin got some blockers ahead, and he's just short of the first down marker. Gain of 9 yards. Maybe just inches away from making that a first down. I would say that's about a whole yard. So exactly 9 yards.
Yeah.
It's marked exactly on that 45-yard line.
Man, I'm just loving watching this Alexandria-Monroe sideline right now. These boys are getting up. They are excited for their freshmen out there right now, and they're excited to have dominated on homecoming night. There's got to be no better feeling if you're the Tigers.
They're going to gas to take the QB kneel. Everyone's favorite formation, and maybe the only time where the winning team is happy with a loss, because with that knee, that marks the game as complete. As we still have 25 seconds left, but it's way ahead of the play clock by a good 5 seconds, and you don't have to do math there. This game is over. 42-0 is the final from Alexandria-Monroe. We're going to take a quick break, come back with a post-game show, so don't go anywhere. As we do thank you for tuning in to tonight's game here from the Muncie area. Again, final score, Tigers 42, Bruins nothing.
Every day is a great day to buy a vehicle at Greg Hubler Ford.
Because every vehicle comes with our Greg Hubler promise. On top of scheduled maintenance with your vehicle, you'll also enjoy complimentary roadside assistance, service pickup, and drop-off. And a free car wash and quick wash every time you service at Greg Hubler Ford.
We're always finding new ways to put our guests first.
Mosey on into Muncie.
Greg Hubler Ford, promise kept.
Universal Roofing and Exteriors is a family-owned and operated business, providing care and honest service for over 30 years. Universal has always been a little bit different. Their certified and trained employees don't just provide excellent work at a fair low price. They care about their customers, simply providing great customer service. Quality, honesty, dependability. That's Universal Roofing and Exteriors. Call us today at 317-257-0779.
Football fans, welcome back for the Indiana High School Sports Network post-game show of the Muncie area game of the week between the Blackford Bruins visiting Alexandria-Monroe on homecoming. As the final score from here, Tigers 42, Bruins nothing. Andrew Mile with Sam Niger. And Sam, it was a wallop of the Bruins, and the Tigers are smiles all around as they go to their coaches near the 45-yard line.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it wasn't much of a football game really from the start. But, hey, if you're Alexandria-Monroe, you cherish this win. It's homecoming night. This is about the fanfare, and they enjoyed a great win tonight. They played a great game, and they should go home happy.
What did you see from the Tigers tonight that allowed them to take this dominant 42-0 win and make it back-to-back weeks where the games weren't even really close for them?
Man, how do you pick just one player or one unit? Really, both the offense and the defense were dominant tonight. I do want to focus on the defense, though. They had the physical advantage, the size advantage against Blackford, but that front four of Martin, Etchison, Watson, and DeVore, along with the linebacker play, I mean, they were absolutely dominant. They tore through the offensive line of Blackford, and they set the tone immediately and never gave up.
And they're going to be talking to their coach. The coach probably has nothing else but good things to say, as that is Pete Gates, who has been coaching this team for quite a long time, and it always feels good to win in front of the home fans on homecoming, especially in your opening conference game against the Blackford Bruins. And let's stay on the positive side. I understand that Blackford didn't have a good night. They were shut out. They were down 35-0 going into halftime after they had a bad snap, which allowed Gabe McGuire to throw a touchdown pass to Johns. What was working well for Blackford that they could at least build on going into their next game, going into next week?
Well, I think they can build on, number one, individually. They can rely on Austin Smith. You know, they lost their star running back in Peyton James, but Austin Smith has proven that he can be capable carrying the football for the Bruins, and I think they should be happy that they also got their own freshman some time to play varsity football, to get acquainted to a game like this. And I think they just need to rebuild, reload for next week, try and get something done on both sides of the ball.
Again, the score is 42-0 Tigers. And we're going to give it over to Sam, that is going to look at scores from around the East Central Indiana regions. And then we will preview next week's game here on the Indiana High School Sportsnet. And then we'll wrap it up and wish you football fans a good rest of your night. So here you go, Sam. What are the scores?
Yeah, of course. Thanks, Andrew. So Madison Grant right now leads Mississiniwa 27-6. I apologize to Indians fans if I got that name wrong. As for Lapel, we saw them last week. They are currently beating Shenandoah 19-15 in the fourth quarter. The Pendleton Heights Arabians are beating Newcastle 28-0. As for the dominating performance from Frankton, they lead Elwood 77-12. North Decatur is beating Monroe Central 36-0. McCutcheon is beating Muncie Central 23-12, and Anderson beat Richmond. We have a final from that game 28-0. Those are the only scores we have to report for you tonight, but it was a great night of football in and around the East Central Indiana area.
Thanks, Sam. And looking forward to next week, our Week 4 game. It's going to be a little bit closer to Sam's school of Ball State. He says 5 minutes away. It's Muncie Central hosting Kokomo. That's, again, next week on September 9th. It will be broadcasting from Muncie Central for Week 4. And it should be a fun one. Hopefully, we see some fireworks from Muncie Central. Well, that's going to do it from Alexandria-Monroe High School, with the Tigers, again, winning by a final score of 42-0. For Sam Niger, I'm Andrew Mild. We'll see you next week from Muncie Central High School.
Tonight's game on IndianaHighSchoolSports.net has been driven by Greg Hubler Ford, located at the corner of McGalliard and Nebo Road in Muncie, or visit them at GregHublerAuto.com. And brought to you in part by Universal Roofing and Exteriors. Visit Universal at UniversalRFG.com. By Genesis Sports Performance. Visit Genesis at GenesisSportsPerformance.com. And by High Gear Marketing at HighGearMKTG.com. This has been a presentation of IndianaHighSchoolSports.net and High Gear Sports.